If there was a place built to raise a mountain bike world champion, it would be Squamish, British Columbia. A landscape defined by steep mountains, endless trail, and terrain that demands creativity from anyone who rides it. And from that environment emerged Jackson Goldstone. Fluid, creative, effortless. Jackson has already influenced how the next generation approaches riding. His style is shaping the direction of the sport, and his speed is forcing everyone else to adapt.
I would say my style has changed the sport. Like, definitely people are looking at it. Like, that's not a lie. Like, every single team is filming me to see, what line I'm on or what I'm doing different. It changed my sport, like what I do, but it's not going to change Loic's sport.
But with that speed comes expectation. Pressure most riders spend a career learning how to carry.
Jackson Goldstone wins 4 World Cups in a row.
Matching Aaron Gwynn's record with 4 wins in a row on his way to a UCI World Championship, it's clear the benchmark just moved. When Jackson is on, everything looks natural. Flow and feel take over, and the hardest runs in the world start to look effortless. As fans of two wheels, all we can do is watch greatness unfold in real time.
And that one had like a different vibe to it completely. Everything was like calm, in a different mindset. I almost like knew I was gonna win, and it's like, it's already done. Like, I know I'm in position and I just have to go out there and like muscle memory and just like do it, like it's already there.
Gypsy gang, welcome Jackson Goldstone to the podcast. I'm going to interrupt this podcast to bring you a pretty crazy statistic. 70% of people that watch this channel are not subscribed. That does a couple of things. A, that means that you might not be getting served this content the minute that it comes out. And it also just tells YouTube that they're not really worth watching. So if you want to support the podcast, the easiest and quickest, most high impact thing you can do is subscribe to this channel, give this podcast a like, and leave a comment down below to let us know who you would like to see on Gypsy Tales next. We're going to do our best to bring them to you. All right, let's get back to the podcast.
I met a gypsy.
Jackson Goldstone is joining us for the podcast. I'm stoked on this, mate. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And he just rolled up in the hood in like one of the wildest F-150s I've seen in a while.
Yeah, no, I just had a spare time, bit of spare time here in Laguna, and thought I'd come by, stop by, and hop on the podcast. It's been a while. I've been listening to a few, and always been in touch with you over the years. So it's finally good to finally get on board.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. So what's the story with that F truck?
Anyways, I had a Tacoma like for about 3 years, and it was kind of just on its way out. It was fine. It's like obviously they're bulletproof, so it was still going good. But I was like, it's time for an upgrade. I just had a pretty good season, 2023. I was like, yeah, we'll treat myself, And
tax.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Business expense. Basically just kind of cruised into dealership, and that was kind of the one they were like stoked on giving me, and they kind of sold me on it pretty quickly. But yeah, it's a hybrid one, so I can like charge my e-bikes and eat like Stark off the truck and stuff.
No way.
Yeah.
Does it work good for the Stark?
Yeah, it works really good. Like charges it in an hour and a half, I think.
No shit.
From pretty much zero. So
yeah,
pretty dialed because I can be anywhere and do it, right? So.
Yeah. So did you drive from
Canada? Yeah. I drove her all the way down. I have this like bike rack set up. It's a Big Days one, and I've got like 2 bikes set up kind of like above the back glass of the roof almost, and then the Moto next to it. It looks pretty sick.
So you brought the Moto as well?
Yeah, so I got 2 e-bikes and the Moto, golf clubs, and a bunch of other stuff too.
So you're just on tour?
Yeah, I'm on tour for kind of a month, I think, 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of the Syndicate's flying in on Friday for A1, so
sick.
We're going to be able to, kind of do some stuff with them and do some stuff for Santa Cruz as well.
Yep.
While I'm down here.
Yep. So when do you go back?
I will be going back to Canada, I think like 20th of Jan maybe.
Yeah, okay. So you got a good little bit.
Yeah, so staying kind of the week after A1, going back up to Santa Cruz. We're actually going to Ocotillo Wells for 2 days.
Sick.
With Ricky Johnson, and he's the Fox suspension crew. We're going to do some like ATV, like side-by-side stuff. So
have you ever done much of that?
Not loads, not much driving myself. I've been passenger a few times, but like not in the desert either because we don't have
Yeah.
any of that stuff. But yeah, looking
Dude,
forward to
I think
that.
you're going to have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
For
the
sure.
weather's just perfect for that too.
Yeah,
With all the
and I
rain.
got my truck, which is it's got Fox 3.0 suspension, like big suspension, big wheels and tires. So that thing might go pretty good in the desert too, honestly.
Dude, what a sick little trip.
Yeah, it's just me and my girlfriend, and we've been cruising down. We took our time down the coast along the way. Kind of took 3 days. Stopped in, a few places we liked, and stopped in the redwoods, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you
was
done it
beautiful.
before?
I've done the drive many a times. I think I've done part of the coast once, just
Yeah.
with my dad when I was a lot younger, but not the full coast, and like not actually enjoyed it.
Just
and
like kind of
stopped whenever.
chilling as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, epic. Griff was just in Canada, the great man.
Yeah, he was telling me while you're gone there.
Just went
Revelstoke.
Yeah, went and did the full season. So I've never been to Canada.
Oh, dude, come on.
I know.
That's rude.
I need to. Well,
Yeah.
I've always been like kind of a bit. The visa thing's always been like a thing.
Okay, yeah.
And so like I've
Yeah.
like going in and out, and I
Yeah.
was just like, you know what? Until I'm like,
Let's just chill here.
yeah, I'm like until I'm a bit more. Same with Mexico. Never been
Yeah.
to Mexico.
Yeah, I've never been to Mexico either. Actually, sorry, I have been once, but not for like.
Was
I
it
just
for a
there
race?
For a race, yeah.
Did you do one of those crazy urban things?
Yeah. It was one of those urban things, and I was doing some filming as well, but like didn't really get to explore Mexico much around that. I was like kind of just focused on
Yeah.
that. But
Was it
Wasn't
gnarly
gnarly.
the race?
dude, those things are crazy. Those races, they're terrifying.
I bet, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like the guys that like the locals that raced, like
Yeah.
you got to give credit to them because they're like way gnarlier.
Well, that's
than the
what.
stuff that we do. And some of the stuff was like pretty pedally as well. So I showed up on a downhill bike, and like a bunch of other guys were on trail bikes and stuff. So I was like, obviously a smaller guy, a bit of a weight advantage for them. And I think I got second at that race. Two of the fast guys either crashed or flatted, and so I kind of dodged a few bullets there. But
Yeah.
no, that was a crazy race. I mean, the crowds come out from their houses and they're just like dogs barking at you the whole way down. There's it's gnarly.
It's like
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, and there's no like they put padding on like the worst things ever. Like they'll put a padding on this one tree, but then leave the corner of the building where you're landing is just completely
yeah.
exposed, and it's like that's way worse. But yeah, no, it's crazy, and I like doing them, and they're fun, but I think it's too carnage, and I think that's kind of not as much my scene anymore. But
Did they? Is it a legit series? It's like a thing.
it's kind of starting to be a bit of a series. I'm not sure if there's like an overall like points and like kind of that category system yet, but I do know they do one in Italy as well now.
Yeah.
And then I think there's like one in Mexico, one in Chile, one in Argentina maybe. So yeah, kind of getting a few.
Yeah. I can't remember who I was talking to, but someone said that there's kind of like specialist dudes at that
Yeah.
now. It's turning into a thing where
Yeah.
the guys that win, that's what they do.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I mean, there's like the top guys in every sport, right? Like there wasn't really like guys that, only trained for stair racing and like that kind of stuff. And yeah, there's people that, that's all they do now. So
Yeah.
that's pretty gnarly.
It's super accessible though.
Yeah,
When you
totally.
when you
just
think
drive
about
back
it.
up and
Yeah, like
hop
you're
in
on
the back
ro-
of the truck.
you're
Yeah.
on- you're on roads.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's a pretty easy thing to do.
Until you go down, but
Well, yeah. But none of the shit you guys ride is easy to
That's
go
true.
down.
That's
so,
true.
but yeah, like as far as being a Mexican dude that doesn't really have access to downhill tracks and
for
chairlifts,
sure,
it's like,
for sure. I mean, you definitely like you learn a lot of skills just like in different ways,
yeah,
it's a lot about if you're doing stair gaps and stuff, like timing of that's like really important and stuff. So yeah, it's hard.
Are there big crashes?
There's been some big crashes for sure. I mean, I don't remember all the massive ones off my heart. I think
But there
there's
is a
so
couple.
many that you can like you can name like hundreds, but
Really?
yeah, it's hard to pinpoint like one section. Like I mean, there's lots of crashes, I think.
Gnarly.
And just like random ones too. Like, I mean, you'll be like scrolling Instagram or whatever and just see like a random stair crash or something. It definitely happens, but somehow they walk away all good. One time I was there was a guy, I can't remember his name, but he like went over the bars on like the stair gap section where it's like super tight along the walls, and his like fork just like completely bent in half from like, his bike just impacting the stairs. And he was like concussed, but somehow all good. But
The full Derek Lewis.
I mean, his
He's
bike
okay.
just gets absolutely demolished, right? Because it's just concrete.
Straight to the wall.
Yeah.
Fuck. What's the traction like on that?
Not great, because you want to run high pressures for rolling speed, but obviously the higher pressure, it gets pretty dicey, and like letting the tire like fold and stuff sometimes helps on that kind of stuff. But with a high pressure, it's hard to do that. I've never like, done testing or like really figured out like the best setup for that kind of stuff. So I'm not, fully sure, but I mean, like as soon as you get a bit of dust on the surface, it gets really slippery. So if there's like a dirt landing, like the runoff after, you could like skid on that stuff and it would just be ice. So, I mean, there's definitely tons of things you got to look out for.
Gnarly. Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
I'll stick to the little.
I've told
trails.
myself I'm good as well. After that last race run that I did, I was like, I'm just gonna like,
Is there any video of it?
There should be, somewhere.
Mexico?
Guanajuato or something like.
Oh, dude,
Guanajuato,
good shout.
Something like that. Oh, I'm
that
sorry
looks
if I'm
like
butchering that, but
I mean, I feel like you got
the
pretty
top
close.
one there, I think maybe.
And then MTB.
MTB Downhill race. There you go.
Yeah, the shit's
see if
gnarly. They've been
there's-
doing it a long time.
Okay,
too.
so do the top one there. And then I think my run should be second, maybe. Top 3 runs, because I was second.
Oh, how good is it hearing Rob Warner commentate?
Oh, so good. That's the best part about it.
I was going to say, let's go just for this.
Yeah, no, it's the best part. There we go.
There he
There's your
is.
boy. I think this is 2022. Start of 2023, maybe. Yeah, 2023.
Yeah, dude. Not it.
So yeah, like look at pretty flat there, just tight, like
Yeah.
dirt all over it, loose rocks, and then in through a house here. I didn't cut my bars either for this, so I was still running like
Oh.
decently wide bars, not like crazy, but
Bro.
I was like, I'm gonna risk it through that section. I remember getting pretty loose, and then look at the pedals, like
yeah.
you're just
That's just flat.
uphill. That was uphill there.
And you're like, nah, I'm out on that.
And then just trying to recover over these wall rides, trying to breathe.
And you have to hit those, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you get
A penalty.
penalty
Yeah.
if you go around.
Oh, through the living room?
Yep, through the living room. That
Bro.
jump was sketch because you like jump out of a corner, but it's only like pretty short, so you had to go slow. And then this section was so fun, just a bunch of stairs through the different walls.
This
It's
is so wild.
super sick.
Broadband cable there.
Yeah. But yeah, like I almost hit a cat in practice, like just running across, and then look at how flat it is. I'm just
look at the
you
old
can tell
lady,
how
dude.
tired I am. I'm slowing down for sure.
Yeah, the legs are pretty heavy at this point, eh?
Yeah. It was a good run though. I just like I'm sitting down. Like, come on.
Have you pulled it? Was 1.1
I think
before?
I lost a lot of time there. Yeah, there you go.
You
1.1.
lost a second.
Pedaling down the stairs.
This is the best commentary combo in the sport.
Yeah, it's so good. Every time you see like an OG video, it just it feels right.
Dania.
And then there's a big final jump.
Did you flip it?
No.
Oh. Hey, you pulled some time
Yeah,
back.
a little
Half a
bit.
second.
Look at it, I'm just done. I can't even do anything. I'm done.
Imagine if you pedaled.
Right.
Bro, get the man a drink.
And then this is the guy that won. He had a
all right,
loose
let's
run.
watch this.
Yeah.
And he's got a very South
got a-
American flag next to his
Oh,
name.
yeah. Look at him, dude.
In his PJs.
Yeah. This guy's sick. He's super nice.
So he's like one of these specialist guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he came to a few World Cups as well.
Bro, he's spinning.
Yeah. Yeah, so like this is their World Cup. Like this is it. So it's crazy to see, the amount of like aggression that goes into it. Like
Oh, that's
like,
loose, eh?
on a trail bike too. He's got less travel than me. But look at him up the hill, like he's way quicker. Yeah.
Bro.
Can't remember how much he won by. I think it was like around 2 seconds. It was a good run.
What a G.
Yeah.
All black helmet, all black top.
Yeah, it's like not a lot of sponsors. Like just like tons of followers over there. Tons of
okay.
followers, no support.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Right.
Well, I mean, actually, I don't know. I don't want to say no support, but
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. But I know that, it's definitely like a big following. Like some of those guys have like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers.
That's awesome.
So when I went to my very first one of these races in I think I was like 16 maybe.
Wait, pull up to this.
Oh yeah, sorry. I think when I was about 16 kind of thing. And they where was I going with that? They were just like insane
Yeah,
crowd.
the fans.
Yeah, insane crowd down the whole way. And like the pedal sections were gnarly. They were jumping out of houses as well, but there was wires and stuff as well on that one that were like pretty low hanging. So like if you hit this one double, like it looked close, but like it actually wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was honestly, I'd say safer than that other one in Valparaiso was the other one that I did. But
Yeah.
yeah.
This dude's ripping, bro.
There he goes. Yeah, 2.2. There you go.
What
That's
a G. You
much you
must
won
have
by.
ripped that last section, though, because, like, he lost time to you
Oh, did he? Yeah.
on that last bit. So something was going on in the last one.
But yeah, that's kind of
cool.
my Mexico experience. I haven't spent much time other than that.
I was wondering, I'm like, how did we get onto this?
I know. We just went on a crazy spiral already.
I love
We're
that.
just starting.
Uh,
The future of Moto Downhill, eh?
so, big moto guy as well. So that's
Big
a
moto guy.
bit of the draw to Cali. And
Yeah.
do you remember Jackson's clip of Tomac in the whoops in Canada? So we've got a big film guy too over here.
Yeah.
That was iconic, bro.
That was such a good one, dude. When he just
you will
bop,
find
bop,
that
bop,
on his
bop,
Insta.
bop, bop, bop. Oh, I wonder if it was on a
Was it-
story.
Oh,
I think
was
it
it?
was probably a story. Oh, it'd take
Nah,
a minute to
too
find
far.
it. Yeah.
That was
That was such a. I'm glad you pulled that up because I was sitting next to John Tomac as well, which
No.
made it really sick because he was there and we were sitting in the industry section, and so like a few of like the kind of big dogs from teams. I'm not sure who they were, but big headphones. They're all clipboards.
yeah.
As soon as the event's over, they're just like up and gone, like ready, done, don't want to see anymore. But yeah, this one. I got another clip of it.
Yeah, you
sick
got this
angle
sick-
from
it
like
was-
the other side.
Yeah.
I literally from the back there. But just
Bro.
oh, it doesn't even look sick from there. It looks way sicker from my angle.
Yeah, the angle you got, because I mean,
Yeah.
that moment was pretty viral. Everyone was
for
posting
sure.
it, but you
Yeah.
literally got the dopest angle of it
Yeah.
while sitting next to John Tomac.
Because I saw him do it once, and I was like, no one else saw it. I swear, I was like going crazy. But like all my friends that were with me, they were like didn't see it, and so I was filming him come through every lap, and I think he did it like maybe second or third lap after, and I was like so hyped that I got it. But yeah, that was a sick clip.
Did you go this year?
Yeah, I went this year as well.
Yeah.
Super sick one as well. Eli was crushing. He looked
Ripping.
so good on
I was
that
like doing
KTM.
turn downs and shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Tomac does turn downs
Yeah, yeah.
turn ups now?
Yeah.
Like, what are you up to, bro?
I mean, like his first race on KTM
Yep.
for him, right? Yeah,
Yep.
he looks like
first time anyone ever saw him on a KTM, really.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like he was dialed right
Yeah.
out the gate. So could be interesting.
Yeah,
Looking
so-
forward to A1.
What's your moto background?
Yeah, I mean, I've got not like super young. Like I started when I was, I think, 12 or 13. So like I didn't start on 50s. I think I got a 65 as my first bike, KTM 65.
Yeah.
And rode that for about 2 years, then moved up to an 85. Would kind of like just ride here and there, like not a lot. Didn't get super into it. Because I would need like my dad to drive me to the track or to wherever, and there's not tons of tracks from where I live. Closest one's kind of like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lift.
Yeah, so kind of like didn't ride too much, and then as soon as I got like a full size bike, I got a 250. I think in about 2020 or 2021 maybe, and that's kind of when I like really got into it. And I've actually been doing like kind of started doing a lot more enduro side of things. So hard enduro stuff. Yeah. It's just so much more accessible for me. Like I can ride from my house on the dirt bike, putt through the little section of neighborhoods, get onto some dirt roads and go for a really long time and ride super sick trails. So.
And single track type stuff?
Yeah. Like crazy hard enduro, like hill climbs, tech, stuff I can't even make up. So. Like harder than I need,
Yeah.
So it's got tons of trails for all kind of skill levels, but tons of trail riding where I live. There's a little track as well, so I've been taking the Stark out there, and it's good for training as well. That's kind of the main secondary reason why I love it so much is just the grip strength training that transfers over to downhill is insane. Like I don't ever get any arm pump at all
on the pushy.
On the normal bike. So like when I'm doing a race run, except for Mont Saint Anne this year, that was a different one, but we'll get into that. I don't get any arm pump, and I honestly think a lot of it is from like moto training, and just that cross training helps.
It's just so much more weight.
Yeah, it's like it's such a different motion, right? Because you're like holding on, and so it's like a pulling motion instead of like a push up motion.
Yeah, because downhill you're kind of pushing.
Yeah, it's like you're never like pulling off the back really, or I'm not, because I ride quite far forward. So like first day back on the moto after not being on it for a while, like I ride for 30 seconds and I can't hold on because I'm just so not used to it, but it's definitely really good.
So where did the moto influence come from? Like what got you into it? What got you a KTM 65?
I think I was just begging my dad.
Oh, so it come from you?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, like what, if I was looking up to someone, or I want to say maybe I went to a Supercross or something and then got really stoked. Yeah. There was a few sponsors back then, like right at the start of kind of when I got them, that brought me to A1 like right at the start, and I was probably kind of from that, and then I just begged my dad for one. He got me one for my I think it was 12th or 13th birthday. And, kind of went from there. But, I didn't really properly start riding until I'd say I was 17, 16, 17. So.
And so were you always the kid that would watch the races and kind of be into the sport on that level?
Yeah. Yeah, I was always, like, stoked. And, my dad would always watch Supercross with me, too. And, I wouldn't say we got, like, so into it to watch, full outdoors and everything. But we would go down to... That's actually, now I remember the story of where I went to the first one. It was a Monster Energy Cup or whatever.
Oh, in Vegas.
In Vegas. The big one, the $1 million one or whatever it was.
Yeah. What year? Who won?
I would love to tell you.
Who won?
I think I was there for the year that AC won as well. I was there. I went like 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Big Vegas guy. Big Vegas guy.
3 or 4 times. Well, so it was funny because it always lined up the day after or like 2 days after Rampage. And Rampage is like 2 hours away from there. So we would go down to the desert. We'd go watch Rampage. I went and saw Rampage like probably 8 times.
No shit.
Yeah. I've been lots of times with my dad.
Bro, that's a whole separate combo.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so we'd go like there, and then we just book an extra day, go to the Monster Energy Super Cup, and then fly home the next day, kind of thing. So I think we went. I want to say maybe 3 years or 4 years. So.
Really? So who won the first one that you went to, you reckon?
Dude, that's a tough question. I don't think anyone won. I don't think I was there because Villapoto won it the 1 year, right? As well.
Tomac won 1 year,
Tomac
million,
1 year.
And then Moose did as well.
Moose did.
This is our autistic.
So he's got the stats.
He's got the tism.
Perfect.
For sure.
He's also got the keyboard, so
he's
can be quick on it.
He doesn't need a keyboard. Moose won the mill.
I want to say I was there for like kind of Mooskin, Tomac, Adam era, like those kind of years.
Yeah. Okay. It was such a good It was
So
such
sick.
a good race.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I was young. I was like, 14, 15 at the time.
Yeah, how
so
old are you now?
21. Almost 22 in middle Feb.
It's crazy. I feel like I've been watching you forever.
That's what, I mean, I've got an 18-year-long career kind of. Like I've started like when I was 2 years old, 3 years old. And then yeah, I mean like kind of that first run bike videos was when I was, 5, 6 years old. So it's been long for sure.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You'll have like a 40-year career by the end of it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, hopefully I don't go to 40, but
I think though with guys like you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like we're entering the frother generation where you're at the top of the sport and winning the gnarliest races, but still a frother.
Yeah.
And it's not like the full grind.
I like that. Frother era.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I look at, there's
sure.
a bunch of the younger guys and you're all hyped. You're all riding
Yeah.
e-bikes. You're all digging your own trails. You're all, like, you're going to watch Rampage. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
an era of guys. So like Mick Hanna was like, lived 2 doors down from me when
Sick.
when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
grew up in
Dope.
Cairns, which is obviously a big
Yeah,
mountain bike town, right?
Yeah.
And it was just full, like, the dudes were BMX every night and cross-country rides. And
Yeah.
not to say that you guys don't train, but it was just such a business-type era. And it
Yeah.
was so athlete-focused and just gnarly. Whereas you guys are gnarly in a different way. And it's like the froth is so real with your generation. And then I think that when a guy like you comes along and leads the way, it rewrites the playbook of how you should do it, and then that just creates like this own momentum with a new generation that treats racing the same, and maybe there'll be like a Loic Bruni 2.0
Yeah.
that comes along
Yeah.
in 10 years or whatever and
Yeah.
changes it again. But it just seems like the froth era is real,
For
and that's
sure.
probably going to give you a super long and fun career.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like what I love about downhill so much is it's such like a personalized sport. I've said this to many different people, but like it's I can't influence whoever's race or do anything to mess anyone else up. Like these guys, they can go out and get taken out first corner and it not be their fault. Where everything is pretty much up to our kind of deal to figure out, and it's nothing. So there's no like dramas,
Yeah.
There's no people like getting angry at each other for cutting them off or anything like that. So it's cool because it's so personalized, and like Loic is such a bigger guy than me. There's people that are 6'4" riding. I'm 5'7", and so many
Yeah.
different bikes and different styles and different kit, different tracks. There's so many different things about it, but we all come down and we finish within a tenth of a second. So it's so crazy that there's just so much that goes into it, and so much like everyone has their own program, their own way of doing it. There's no like written answer of like, oh, this is how you do all these things. It's like it honestly, whatever works out best for you is kind of that's what goes. So
Yeah. And then you're bringing just the love of riding and a lifetime of
yeah,
just enjoying 2 wheels. And that is like you're able to be successful with that.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've loved it since I was 2 years old. Like it's been the sport that I couldn't imagine doing anything else, right? Like I feel like if I'm 18 years in and I haven't quit, I do truly love it. So yeah, it's so sick. I mean, it definitely gets hard at some points. Like this year was tough mentally, and there's times where it's like, fuck, I need a break. Like this is tough, but I always keep coming back to just like going for a local lap at home or just going to ride something for fun, and it just brings that stoke back and gets so much fun. Gets love back for sure. Just going for a fun ride.
Yeah. How much time do you guys get off in the off season? Like, do you guys get to have an actual off season?
Much more than moto guys for sure.
Yeah, they don't have an off season.
Yeah, no, they don't. But yeah, so I think it's actually going to be changing a little bit next year. We're going to be ending end of September.
Yeah.
But this year we ended middle of October. And then we start in May. So I think it's like a 5-6 month, like 5 month off season. So it is pretty good. Like it's long, there is other races that gets filled up in there, like Hardline, and there's preseason races that are optional that you could go and do. So I'll be going to Hardline, and I'm leaving for that in about 3 weeks. Yeah, Tasmania.
Yeah.
But that'll be kind of the kickoff of the year. So that's February 9th or 8th, maybe. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So that's first race. This is the race of the season, and then the next first World Cup after that will be first week of May.
Should we watch the Hardline run? That GoPro's wild, man. I saw it come up before. Just go back. I think it was. Just do that.
Can I ditch the hoodie, or is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sweating.
It's actually gets hot.
I was all good at the start, but
no, it definitely gets hot in here. Oh, and a long sleeve.
I know. I was roasting.
No, dude, I love it. You got the Fox hoodie, and now we're repping
Now
the
a
Syndicate.
So we just covered all the sponsors.
We're just ticking. We're ticking
everyone
boxes.
happy.
I love that.
I swear that wasn't intentional.
What a professional! This is what a professional looks like. Dude, and this
Should
was
just have my can and
dude.
everything.
We that's the one chink in your armor. So
This is a big race.
So
we did.
pause. All right, so let's set this up.
Yeah.
So before we watch this,
Yeah.
should we watch the year before?
Oh,
Or
I
do
mean
you not wanna-
that goes down a rabbit hole. I can explain it pretty quick if we don't have to watch the year before.
All right.
'cause-
So for context, for
Yeah,
people that
yeah.
we're about to watch this is epic. But what makes this even more epic is 1 year before. So was it before? I'm not going to be the best with dates and years, so
That's all
I
good.
apologize in
Yeah.
advance. Was last year when you had the crash at Hardline, so the year before, was that going into your debut season? Or
That
had
was-
you had your debut?
I had my debut season.
Yeah. So
yeah.
this would have been like
second year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So to paint the picture,
Yeah.
you're doing this event 1 year after you go there, you're dominating, and like unreal event, unreal track, and you were crushing, and then you go offline and do your ACL,
Yeah.
which
Big one.
maybe we can talk about that whole process after.
Yeah.
But like I tell people that don't know downhill, you're like the Jet Lawrence of downhill, essentially. And so it's like you just have so much potential, and everyone's like, this is Jackson's year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do your knee at a preseason race, essentially.
Yeah.
So this run is coming off the back of
So
that.
so yeah, I mean I'll tell a little more of the story too. So yeah, I did my ACL, had surgery like 3 weeks after, and then basically was off the bike for 5 months fully.
Brutal.
Like,
is that the
not
longest
riding.
you'd ever had off the bike?
100%. Like longest by a long shot.
No way.
Like I think the longest before that was probably when I broke my collarbone, and that was like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So
way. So
yeah.
you went through it.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, I played a lot of video games and didn't do a lot of things, but I mean, it was still a grind, like working on just getting the mobility back, getting the strength back, and trying to, do that whole rehab process is not easy. Like it was a grind. I was going down to, drive down from Squamish to Vancouver to go see my trainer like 4 times a week sometimes, and going to do all that stuff. So it was a long 6 months, and I missed the entire season. And so this was my first race back at the same track, same venue, year after. Not a single race in between. One small local one, but that doesn't count. We'll call it. This was my first, big stage race back.
And so this is gnarly. Like
Yeah.
this track that they put together is an absolute beast. And there's some really great competition here. And I have to imagine that this meant something mentally. Like was this a bit of a hurdle to like commit to even doing this race and then to go out and try and win it? Like you had to feel like you were proving something to yourself in a way.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, so many people were like, are you going to go race? Like, are you going to go do it? Probably not a good idea. I mean, there's, tons of dramas in that kind of side of things. But I was just, always coming back to it. It's like, I love doing this event. It's so much fun. I love riding my bike. I love going to a race. So, like, why wouldn't I not do it? Like, that's always kind of, my home point. Like, that's what I always think about. And this one, it definitely was like a revenge race for me. Like, I wanted to kind of overcome that and just put that kind of behind me and forget about it all. So it's like to come up and then, be able to win it as well is like, that's just like the ultimate ultimate feeling.
I watched this live because of the story.
Yeah.
You know, and Asa was there and he was ripping as well. And that's another storyline. But I was watching when you got hurt, and because I don't watch a ton of downhill races.
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
wish
you
it was
can't
more,
watch everything, you know, it's hard.
but I wish it was more accessible.
Yeah,
Like where the
that's
fuck
true.
do you even watch it?
I don't even know.
I
I don't even know, honestly. I
no
don't have an
idea.
account.
I have no idea how to watch it.
Yeah, I
So-
don't even have an account to watch it myself. It's hilarious.
It's insane. But yeah, I made sure that I was watching this because I was invested in your return. You know?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I really
Oh,
wanted to,
that's
like I
sick.
wanted
Thank
to
you.
see. So
Yeah.
anyway, so that's the context for people that don't know. And I'm sure the GoPro does not
Yeah.
do this justice.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely doesn't. Like that stuff's all like pretty sandy, so pretty loose.
And it was pretty dry
I'll tell
this
you,
year.
yeah, it was definitely dry. Rained like super early and then didn't. So it was just this next section here where I did my knee the last year. I'll tell you when to pause. Right about here. So I like came into this rock garden and was offline and like no braked it from the top. And I was like kind of offline.
How far offline? What are we talking?
Oh, I mean, I would say like it's not even, my tires were probably online, but my body weight was like ever so slightly off, you know? Like, and then that would set me up later to go a bit offline. And it looks a bit different, but that flat rock on the right, I kind of just like got bucked off that, got pushed off the front. And then like there's a little drop just kind of as it turns left there by the yellow pad. And then, yeah, basically went over the bars and was like going fast, flying through the air. Kind of hit this tree with my leg, but it was actually my leg just going into the ground and like twisting and going. That did my ACL. But yeah, I came into it this year and definitely was not going that fast. I knew as soon as I entered it, where the year I crashed, that it was going to be like, oh, this is gnarly. Like I could not make it out, and then I didn't. So I risked it a little bit too much, I will say.
And you've got like all of this is happening at like 65 kilometers an hour.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, not through this section. This is more like 30 to 40, but
Still
still fast and through rocks and trees and stuff. So it's not. Yeah, it feels fast.
Did you know that you'd done your knee straight away?
I had no clue what happened because it was not
Really?
painful at all. Like it was like I knew something was wrong and I like couldn't like fully move it, like get the extension, and I put a bit of weight on it and it like
Loose.
it's
Yeah.
called gapping, where it just like comes out of the socket. And I don't even know what it is, but it just like comes out of place and then pops back in. And like on the live stream, you can like even see it, I think, if you look closely, and you can see my knee just like pop back in and out of place. And as I knew then that I was like, something was wrong, and I felt like I just needed to shake it back into place. Like it was just like my knee cap or something was like just out of place, and I just needed to crack it back, and it was all good. And then like I did that again, and it was like it went out again, and I was like, oh no, this is like serious. And so then it instantly started swelling up. I was like trying to walk down, wasn't working so well, so I like hopped on my bike and was like riding down this trail just with one leg. Like I think I still had my helmet on, no goggles or anything, just like trying to like make it down the track. My bike was like broken, the headset like hit the tree so hard that it like was like super bent, and like my bike was all crooked. And I basically made it down to the like little buggy and got out. But yeah, it was a brutal to get out of there because I'm so high up the hill.
Yeah, you're still at the start of the hill,
Yeah,
really.
and there was like no fans, no one up there because I was like one of the last drops, so everyone's at the bottom. And there was a few medics that were there, but like no one really got it on video or anything. So there was like two angles. But
Gnarly.
it was a gnarly one.
That's a
Gnarliest day of my life for injury wise, for sure.
That's a long ride down
Yeah.
the bottom of the hill.
And then I'm in Tasmania, in the middle of nowhere.
The bottom of the planet.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
live
and
at
I
the
live
top
at the
of the
top of the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, let's watch the rest of this, and then we'll keep going.
I'm good at distracting.
No, I love
distracting
it.
us.
That's what this whole thing's about. So fast, dude.
Yeah, this section was really hard to get that high line there. A few people like hit that tree on the right.
How much of this are you just full no brakes?
It's hard because I don't even really know how much you feather, and like it's I'd say it's a lot a lot more like fine braking than moto, like just in these little sections right here. Like we'll just be pitching the bike different ways, you know, and like trying to get it to go different ways. This gap right here, that was really gnarly.
You just make this shit look so easy too.
Yeah, that gap was scary to me. I wasn't doing it for the first quali days, and I lost a lot of time on this section because I wasn't doing the gap at the top.
Because you obviously generate so much speed.
So your speed through the whole, and I'm speed tucking through over these jumps as well, and like trying to do everything I can to, you know, go as fast as you possibly can down the straight, because all the faster guys are just pulling away from me here.
Well, all the bigger guys.
Yeah, bigger guys.
Yeah.
Heavier guys.
Oh, that looks gnarly too.
Yeah. That one's like, it's like 60 feet, but it somehow feels so chill because you're going so fast that it just happens so quickly. Yeah, it's a really fun track though, like just to ride.
Yeah.
Like it's just off-camber, loamy sections, like super dry and dusty, big jumps. Like it is a really sick track. I think they might be doing a few things to make it longer as well for next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whoop section here. This is a little bit of moto.
Yeah.
Scrub wall.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. There's a bit of drama in this next section up here.
Was this
it's
where
really
everyone
funny.
was jumping over?
So this is the section in a few corners here, but I basically decided I was going to hit this inside over the corner. I decided right here. This line right there. No one really like told anyone about that line, but a few people saw it on the track walk.
Yeah.
And then they pulled it out for their race run and like didn't practice
So Troy
it.
did it, didn't he?
Yeah, Troy did it. And then I think 2 of the French riders did it as well.
Sneaky bastards.
Yeah. That's all good though. I mean, I think it's just racing, right? Like,
Yeah.
people
So what was
have
the
their
drama about
strategies,
it?
but I mean, the whole drama is like that. You know, everyone's helping each other get through the jumps and stuff. So like, you're not supposed to, keep
like
lines,
hold
which
shit
is like,
back.
yeah. I mean,
That's a
whatever,
race line.
but-
That's not a Buddha.
Yeah, that's a Buddha.
That's a Buddha.
And then, I mean, yeah, for that one, it's like, I decided to do it in my race run, so I took the risk, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, crazy feeling.
So when
coming
did you
down
know
there.
that you won?
So I came into the hot seat here, so I was ahead of Troy, but there was still
Oh, so you weren't the
Asa
last.
and there you go. You
That's
like
right.
that
Yeah,
line? There's
yeah.
Troy. Yeah. There was. I can't remember exactly who else was up there, but I think there was 2 riders left, or maybe it was just Asa. And
It might have
yeah,
been
it was
just
tight.
Asa.
It was tight. I got him by like 0.2 of a second, but I was like, I think closer to like almost 2 seconds up on him, and then he was just pulling on me through that whole last straight, like
Yeah.
getting faster and faster.
Well, he's on a
so.
steel bike.
Still bike,
bike's
heavy
made out of
bike.
lead.
He's a big kid, and
Yeah.
you know he's really good at carrying speed as well. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he'll be quick next year for sure.
Yeah, dude. So where does that rate in wins?
I've had a pretty lucky year, and I mean that's up there, top 5 for sure. Just because of the feeling of like coming back from the year before and the whole thing. It's crazy how much coverage these hardline races get. Like the week itself doesn't feel like it's this crazy like big thing, and then you look at the amount of coverage and followers and like things that come out of it, and it's like crazy. So yeah, definitely stoked on going back and stoked for more hardlines for sure.
So you get to the bottom of the hill the year before when you blew out your knee.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next 48 hours of your life look like?
That was a rough 48 hours. I was basically, like down trying to figure out like what's going on, first of all, because I didn't still was starting to swell, but didn't really know. And then I basically had to get like some scans and checks and stuff, but like they wanted to like wait like 3 days to do it because they didn't have the time. And so I was like, I just need to go home. Like I'm not even going to get it checked out or anything. So I had like one physio just like do a quick exam on it. But like other than that, I didn't check anything. I basically just, worked to get a flight home as soon as possible. And I was in first class, thankfully, so was able to, put my leg up and just recline. But it was a pretty horrible 15 hours. It was a 15-hour flight from Sydney to Vancouver direct. But I had to get to Sydney and do my transfer.
Get through the airport.
Yeah,
through
everything. So with the
bikes.
I didn't take a bike with me. I'm pretty sure my bike got shipped back for me, but still had bags and crutches and stuff. But they said they were going to help me in the airport, but no one ever came to help me with
Brutal.
bags or anything. So I just was hobbling through. But
And so you get back to Canada.
yeah, I get back to Canada. Obviously with the Red Bull sponsorship, I'm so lucky to have all the medical benefits and help from the behind on that kind of stuff. So I was able to get in to see, get an MRI, get to see a surgeon, and me and my trainer he knows a surgeon that they work with a lot. So, it was super easy for me to get in because I had the connections. But I got surgery 3 weeks after the incident because I probably could have tried to get it a little bit earlier and then, tried to push and try and get a few races in. But we were just like, we need to get this thing healed and, fully ready so I don't have any problems for the rest of my life, because there's no point at rushing back
For
at
sure.
that time.
Yeah.
So I basically just kind of like took a step back and like, it was a weird feeling, like basically just like realizing that, oh, like, okay, this season's done. Because originally they thought it was just my MCL, and that's only like a 3-month recovery, but ACL is like 6 to a year.
Yeah.
So, originally I thought I was going to be, back for the season, but when I got the MRI back home and they told me the ACL was gone, it was like a big, like, whoa, like that's when I knew my season was over, which is a bit of a mind blower. And then, I basically just kind of, instead of, focusing in that direction on trying to race, it was like, okay, like that's done. Like, let's just focus on this next thing, I guess. Like that's my life now. So I basically just went hard at the gym and did as much as I could to get the knee back healthy.
Have you ever really thought about hydration? I bet you haven't, but I have, and that's why I am on a mission to hydrate action sports with my new company, SOTA Fuel. You can look at any study. Hydration is one of the key factors in human performance. And action sports is about as high performance as it gets, and there are extreme consequences to not being locked in. Find out more about how important hydration is for you and if you're leaving performance on the table by heading to sotafuel.com. So you basically just then switch gears completely to the recovery, which is obviously something you've never really had to deal with. Bro, it's wild that you haven't had more injuries just because,
Knock on wood for sure.
But no one, like it's so gnarly what you do.
I've had a few. I broken my collarbone, done my wrist, dislocated a finger. I've had pretty gnarly appendix problems and stuff, and had.
True.
So that was my first year elite. I had appendix issues, and so it like inflamed and had like all this black liquid everywhere in my stomach and stuff. It was super gnarly. I didn't get it taken out, and then I had to race the first half of the season with it in and on antibiotics, trying to just like manage everything. I had no energy, was struggling.
Why didn't you get it out?
The doctor didn't want to do it because it was too dangerous, and it could have like just been like a really gnarly surgery.
Okay, fair.
So he was like, oh, we have to like let it cool down and like let it chill out and then do the surgery, but then it would just inflame again and then get like, super painful, and I'd have to go back into the hospital. So I was like in and out of the hospital a few times. Like once in Canada, I was in the hospital for like a few days, and then in Europe, the week before the first World Cup, I was in the hospital for 3 days, like just in the most pain ever, because my appendix is just like, I don't know, it felt like it was trying to kill me, but it was so gnarly. And then basically I had to go into my first elite race that next weekend, fresh out of the hospital, like still pale, gnarly.
Did anyone know, or you guys kept it under wraps?
People I knew. I told, like, I think word got out and they posted like a thing like, oh, Jackson Goldstone likely to miss the first race due to injury. And I was like, no one ever asked me. No one ever like said I was gonna miss the race or not. Like, no one's like, I'm racing. Like, that was almost like motivation for me to like try and like just go and do it. And I was like, I can't like be here and not race. I was, even if, I didn't make it, I was like, I didn't make the qualifier or whatever. I was like, this is still good experience if I just roll down the hill, like whatever. So I did. And then I managed to get 6th in my first race. next race was, 2 weeks later, still dealing with the appendix stuff. It's getting better on the antibiotics. I got third in Leogang. And then it was getting a little better, but still not amazing in Val d'Isole, and that's when I won my first Elite World Cup. And then I got surgery, and I got it taken out finally the 3 days after Val d'Isole winning my first race. So that was mid-season. Had to recover from that.
How was that recovery?
It was brutal.
Yeah, okay.
It was really brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the surgery was gnarly too. So my appendix was basically trying to, I'm not a doctor, but I will try and explain this best I can. Apparently it was trying to like punch a hole through my abdominal wall and like get out of the situation that was there, I guess. And it's this little tiny thing. I can't believe it does so much damage, but it was trying to just like push its way out. So they couldn't even see it on the MRI or like CT or anything because it wasn't in the same place. It like was over on the side of my body. And so that's where the pain was. It was getting worse, right? And they were just like trying to figure it out. And so the original plan was like they're going to start by going through my like belly button for the surgery because that's like an access point, I guess, into your abdominal areas. And they're like, if we can do it like cleanly, we'll do it through there. But otherwise, we might like have to fully like cut me open. And that's season over. Like that's a big, big recovery. And I learned after. So I had like the doctor that I had, the surgeon. He was like this like super high level, like university like level like teacher, like doctor. I don't even know what level. He was crazy good, like best in the country for sure. And he managed to, it was the first time they ever performed the surgery that I had with going through the belly button and not opening me up completely. So they basically saved my season.
Yeah,
but it was the first time he's ever done that surgery. And so there was like a bunch of like other people like taking notes and like learning about all this stuff. And like, it was like a really gnarly situation. And I was in Munich, Germany. Salzburg, actually. Yeah. Austria. Yeah. Completely different place. I flew out of Munich.
Same.
Close. Flew out of Munich, took a painkiller that, because I left my painkillers in the, checked luggage. So I took one of my girlfriend's painkillers and it had something in it that like completely ruined me again. And basically my intestines got inflamed, so I couldn't like pass food or anything. So I was just like constipated for the next 2 weeks just from this painkiller, and everything was so inflamed that I like literally like nothing was moving. I was in and out of hospital again there for like 2 weeks. That's still mid-season. I lost 12 kilos. I think I don't know how many pounds that was, but I was
That's like 24 pounds.
Yeah. So my lowest weight was 51.5 kilos, and I'm usually
Do you do
60.
kilos in Canada?
They kind of do both. I don't even know what the rule is. I try and do both, but I'm not great at either, I'd say. But I'm like usually about like 60 to 65 kg, and I was down to 51. So
yeah, that's not.
I lost a lot of weight. Mid-season, had to get it all back.
First season.
Yeah, first season.
All the hype, all the pressure, all the noise.
So I missed World Championships that year, but I didn't even miss a race due to it. So I was pretty proud of myself to still do that and, push through. And so I got back up to like 60 kgs in like 2 weeks. Because I had 2 weeks before the next race of training, and then I was back into the second half of the season.
So you were just eating a bunch?
Dude, I was just... inhaling protein. Inhaling.
Really?
It was insane.
Dude.
I got hooked up through my trainer with a nutritionist that works with the Golden State Warriors as well. Yeah. And so she was basically like giving me some help, and insanely smart lady. Like I couldn't tell you some of the stuff she was telling me because like it just went right over my head at the level she's at. But I was trying to, take it as much as I could, and she was basically just saying like eat as much protein as physically possible until like you can't eat anymore, and like work out, and like that's like literally your only chance at trying to gain weight back. Like,
well, because you're still training, you're still doing cardio.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just have to like eat as much as physically possible. So I was just like pounding protein shakes, going for crazy big Chipotle bowls. I'd go to the gym and then I'd go to Chipotle and get like double chicken. And it's got like 70 grams of protein or something, I would get like a chocolate milk that has 30 grams of protein, and then I'd have a bar as well. And I'd be like, I think I was at like 200 grams a day of just trying to like as much as I can.
That's wild.
Yeah,
While
it was crazy.
training.
Yeah, while training, and I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't like fully going into like exactly this food. I definitely was going and sticking away from things, but I was like, it didn't even matter like what. I was basically just trying to have as many calories and as much protein as physically possible.
That's
was
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Do people know that all that was going on at the time?
I don't think I've ever like fully told like the story like in depth.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely the most I've told about it, but people knew what was going on and stuff, but I don't think they understood like the level.
Extent
Like
of it.
the surgery that I had was really gnarly. Like it was supposed to be like a 3-hour surgery. It turned into like a 6-hour surgery, and it was pretty gnarly, and I woke up from that one in a lot of pain. So it was just such a weird feeling, like having your whole like middle abdomen just like you can't even feel it from the surgery. I was just like didn't even know what was going on. So
When that kidney thing that I was telling you about, so I was snowboarding in like I want to say it happened in like 2015 or 2016. You like that?
it's pretty tasty, yeah.
It's not bad, eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was snowboarding and just an old lady, dude. She like all pink helmet, pink jacket,
Yeah.
pink trousers, pink shoes,
Yeah,
pink
everything
skis.
bored, yeah.
Dude, like 65 years old. And she gets off the lift and does the big, like, when the 1 foot goes
Yeah.
and you're on the one ski and
Yeah.
just went straight across. And I'm like macking down the hill. And so I've just jumped off the side of this run to stop from
Like hitting her.
killing this lady. And so I've just landed front edge and just boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I ended up elbowing myself in the side.
Yeah.
And I popped you've got your bladder
Mm-hmm.
and then your kidney, and there's like a little line that connects the two,
Yeah,
and like a
yeah,
little
yeah.
valve that like pumps everything through, right? And so I've just like basically just ripped that
Wow.
off.
Holy shit.
And so I didn't know. I was in a lot of pain. I didn't have health
And
insurance
it's
here. That
such
whole
a weird feeling, hey? Like
Yeah.
that kind of abdominal stuff.
and I was like pissing blood and the whole.
Oh.
So anyway, waited a month, probably a bit too long. I flew back to Australia, and then I just had like surgery after surgery after surgery.
Oh my God.
To fix this thing, and so just for a little bit of icing on the cake, I had no idea. I was born with one kidney,
No way.
so this was the only one.
So you were just working with one, and it
I
was
was-
working overtime.
Dude, I was just dying,
No
like just
way.
slowly dying as soon
Oh
as
my God.
this happened. And like, man, there's photos of me that I've got. I went to
Yeah.
the fucking Phoenix Open with Ricky Fowler.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
a photo of like us all in an elevator.
so sick.
I think it was after the Supercross. So we went to Supercross, and then we were watching him play at the Phoenix Open because they always coincide.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's like a selfie of all of us, and I'm like fucking yellow, dude. When
Yeah,
I look
like,
back at
just
it now, I'm
looks
like,
sick, yeah.
like, that is crazy. Like you definitely should have gone home. Anyway, long
Yeah.
story short, I had like 5 operations, I think,
Whoa.
to get it back to.
Yeah.
I had like 5% kidney function
Holy.
with one kidney, and then so anyway, I've got like a big zipper across
Yeah.
there, dude. It was
Yeah.
so gnarly. So the bullet that you dodged from
See,
not having them
Not
go
having that.
through.
Yeah, like it's only like a little like.
Yeah, that's
that.
yeah, that's kind of chill. yeah, I've got
It's
like
so
a
much
full
better.
zipper across there.
Right.
Man, I've had a lot of injuries from racing and all that shit,
Mm-hmm.
and they made me. So yeah, I had like a catheter in. I was in hospital for like 2 weeks, and then I had a catheter in the whole time. They do the surgery, and then they're like, "Okay, catheter's coming out. You got to get up." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" There's actually 0 chance
Yeah.
that I could do that right
Yeah.
now. So please do not take that out, or I'm gonna piss in the bed.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're like, "Nah, sorry, this is like procedure.
We
You have to get up."
Yeah.
And dude, no shit. I got up on a walker.
Yeah.
You see people pass out from pain.
Yeah.
I always thought that was fake.
You did it. Yeah.
No, I was close.
Oh, you close. Okay.
Right, I was like shaking,
Yeah.
and I was like, I need to sit. It was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life,
Yeah.
and I was like, they made me do it, But yeah, I got back to the bed sweating, bro.
Dude,
and I had like the
same.
pain. But I'm like,
You're off the green whistle. Yeah.
I'm like, let's fucking go. It was brutal. So they legit saved your season. There's just,
sure.
there's no way. It took me weeks, man.
Yeah, I stayed in the hospital for a week after. I remember waking up after surgery and being in this pitch dark room. There's like a bunch, it's like almost this like yellow tinge to it. It's really weird, like, but it's really dark. And there's just like people groaning and crying all around me. And it's like just this like waiting room, but it's like no one's in there. And I remember.
So this was straight after
This is when I woke up.
Yeah. You're in the recovery room.
The recovery room. Yep. And there's no one there. And it's, dude, the one I was in was it was crazy. There's just people screaming. Just like, just noises coming from everywhere. And you're like, what is this?
Yeah, bro.
But I remember getting so hot because I had like a thin sheet on me and I was just like somehow like overheated and then like threw up off the side, but like got up and like threw up right out of the surgery.
And the pain.
Dude.
Yes.
So gnarly.
Yes.
So gnarly. Because I was like basically straight out of it. I like used my core to like not throw up on myself. Like I kind of just like went over. And no one came back to the room, and I was like trying to find the button, and it was dark, and I couldn't get back up, and I like was like kind of like in my throw up. It was disgusting.
Heavy.
Anyways, yeah. So I was glad to get out of that room, and then I had like I stayed in that hospital for like a week, maybe 6 days, and then flew home and was in the hospital for another 2 weeks after that. But
dude, what an adventure!
Gnarly moments.
Well, and the crazy thing is, so like for people that aren't full downhill people, this was one of the most anticipated rookie seasons, like almost in history. I mean, I don't know someone that's like, who would have come in with this much anticipation? Like, you were 4 years old when everyone was like, that dude's gonna be a world champion at some point,
Well, I don't think they were saying that. I mean, I definitely, like, I started in the slopestyle kind of side of things and, started BMX racing at the very start of things. But, I went kind of slopestyle route for so long that, that's what everyone thought I was going to do. They thought they were doing video projects. And then I was always racing and always trying to just do everything because, I love
Frother era.
Frother era. Like, I just love biking in general. Like, let's go to the skate park, dirt jumps, BMX track, trail bike, e-bike. I do all that kind of stuff. I try and ride as much like kind of different, varied sides of mountain biking as possible, and it just all kind of helps funnel these random skills into one. And there's like so many times where I feel like I've been able to like use a random skill in like a downhill race run, where like I get like a little bucked in this situation and I'm like off the back and like manualing, and I know how to save a manual because I've done thousands of manuals, So there's so many scenarios I go through where like all this stuff in the past has helped me in like the current race runs. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a lot of the hype, and when I was growing up, it was all for the slopestyle kind of thing, and then to switch it over to racing and stuff, that was it was a big step for sure.
But this season was, with all that being said, it was still one of the most hyped seasons for a rookie. And, people are comparing your
I wouldn't
junior
say
times.
second season. So not rookie.
Yeah, fair.
But, yeah, I mean, it honestly kind of felt like a rookie season again, like having that year off so quickly. Like only having 1 year at it, then having a year off, and then coming back, it's like I still have all that knowledge, but, like, I learned way more this year in this stuff. But yeah, definitely like it was a lot of talk and a lot of hype, and then kind of at that first race, I was super sick and like I got was struggling off the back. I think I was like 7 seconds back or something like that. Super wet race, flat track. I like had literally no energy in me to pedal on this flat section, and I think I lost like 3 seconds in this like
which
straight.
Is a lot.
Yeah, and then that's like I had no choice, like no chance, So like after that, kind of like all the hype died, and I think that almost like helped me rebound into the next race, and that's kind of when I went on that run after. But it was definitely like hype coming in, and after this race as well, that kind of like solidified that I was back coming in strong for the season, and then that first race definitely kind of killed the buzz a little bit. But
How did all of that noise affect you coming into like the first season, then the second season, the injury? Like it's definitely been a bit of a roller coaster the first few years.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I have a filmer, Nick Mitzmacher. He's like good friend of mine. He's been working with GoPro, and he's like filmed the last few seasons of mine, like from just like kind of behind the scenes stuff. And he was telling me like this is like the storylines that are coming out of this are just insane. And when you watched it as well, it's crazy. Like it has been an insane few years that I have had racing, like just with the crazy ups and downs of, this injury and the crashing and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to kind of look back and be able to look back at all those cool videos and see all those moments too.
How did it feel from your perspective though?
It was cool. Like, I feel like I've been around it for so long that I'm able to handle the kind of noise and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is a struggle at some point. I think later in the season I started to struggle with it a bit more, but
This
at the
season
start,
or the season that you got?
this season,
Yep.
yeah, this season I struggled with it, like kind of the noise of everything. But like, yeah, I mean, at the start of the season, after that kind of bad race, I just like kind of refocused back onto myself and just, found that flow of feeling good and loving riding the bike again. And like kind of that, I had a good week of training in between the next race, and it wasn't really like the noise that kind of settled down that helped me. It was like kind of refocusing just back to, what I do best and like what I like doing. And I think that kind of helped pull away from the noise the best. But it was definitely a lot going into the first race, settled down a bit, and then it got bad again.
What's your take on the way that like the mountain bike media or the fans have like kind of hyped you over the years? Like, do you wish that it wasn't there in a way? Or like, because some guys would love that shit and it would be like almost that if they didn't have that, they'd be bummed in a way. But like, what's your relationship with it?
Oh, I mean, I feel, I'd say I'm pretty middle of the road in that kind of sense. Like, I love being, an influential person to, younger kids, and like seeing all these younger ROMs coming and trying to, ride like I am and, send me thousands of DMs that are just these little kids. It's so funny seeing, that kind of side of it. I love it. And then, there's always the other side of it where it just gets too much at a certain point and you feel like, you can't get away from it. And you kind of just have to, put your head down and get through it. But, yeah, I definitely kind of ran into that a few times this season, but I think I've been media trained pretty well. Like, just over the years, I feel like I've had a camera in front of my face a lot. So it doesn't feel like it's something like that, really stresses me out too much. Like, I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with that whole side of things. So, yeah, it's definitely, it gets tough at times though, for sure. Just when you just want it all to stop and you just want to focus on riding your bike yeah. There was a few races this year for sure where it was like just an insane amount of talking about the overall or talking about racing or like just being in the pits and there's just a wall of hundreds of fans outside of your pits and you're just trying to like clean up after the day and they're just screaming your name and it's like it's so cool, but like at the same time it's
a lot.
It's a time and a place where it's sick, and if you're not in the right time then it's not sick.
Yeah.
So.
What was some of the hard moments this year?
So, yeah, I mean, there was probably two like moments where I was just like, wow, I need to like slow down and like have a break here. Like, this is just like, I've never felt like I've been like overworked mentally until kind of this year. But after winning 4 races in a row, and just the whole dramas from that and the way it all went and, some of the battles I had with Loic and stuff at the time, that's kind of where it all started of the, kind of overall battle. I won 4 in a row, and that 4th race going into it, I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe I'm like here. I'm trying to do this again, but like everyone's talking about this stuff, and I just need to like try and focus on what I need to do, and that's like all that matters. And
Had anyone ever won 4 in a row before?
Aaron Gwynn has.
Okay.
He did it once, but so I matched his record
Yeah.
of the season. I was like going into that last race, and I was like, I just need to focus on riding, and like whatever happens, happens. And it kind of started rough, and it's like when all the interview time and like that start of the week happens, it was tough. And as soon as I got on the track and got like riding, I was like, okay, like now we're like back into it and back in the right mindset. And I was able to, perform that weekend. So, and then I think I honestly got lucky not winning 5 in a row. Like it probably helps me in a big way throughout the season, because if I won 5 in a row there and Loic didn't beat me in Andorra, I would have, gone into the whole mid-season break with that pressure and that talk and that thought in my mind still of going into the next race, at the second half of the season. So it was kind of a like nice way to like just kind of have it all settle down. It's like, I still did the best I could. I got second, but I didn't win and was able to, go into the season and or the break and just have like a full reset. So it sounds crazy to say, but like that was,
I get it, dude.
It was gnarly.
Yeah, like the pressure. One guy's only ever done it before.
Yeah.
In Gwyn.
Yeah.
And then.
And it's like, when am I going to have the opportunity to do that again? I was like,
this year, bro. Like, come on.
Who knows? Who knows?
Be
But
for real.
dude, I mean, it's only gonna get harder and harder, right? So, I was like, this is like I'm never gonna have, or let's say I'm never gonna have this opportunity again. Like, I need to do try and maximize the most out of this as I can. So, it was just so much thinking of trying to, what I need to do to win and what I need to do to perform my best, and it was definitely a trip.
I bet that was a tough situation to deal with, And the thing with downhill that's so different to motocross and supercross is like you don't see runs like that. You don't see guys that can be that dominant at the World Cup level. So much changes. The tracks are so different, and they suit different people
riders,
in
different
different
bikes.
ways. Yeah. There's
Different
so
conditions,
many. Yeah, the variables and the margins for error. Like, you're not racing a downhill bike for 30 minutes twice to figure out the overall.
Yeah.
You get 3-4 minutes.
I race, if you tally up all of my race time out of a year, it's 30 to 40 minutes of race time. So I work for 30 minutes. So my hourly rate must be amazing. I don't know. But like I technically only like am racing for, I'm only doing my job on track for 40 minutes. So it's like, that's all I have to show my skills. So it's like, you really have to have everything from the outside go into, the 3 minutes that you're on track.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so many guys that are capable of being so great on any given day. And obviously yourself, Loic, like there's a few guys that kind of rise to the top. But I mean, there's so many dudes that are extremely capable of for 3 minutes being the best in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was multiple races this year where we had shorter gaps than the F1 that weekend in their qualifying. So the weekend of Leogang, I was 0.05 ahead of Loic, and then third place was like 0.6 of a second behind. And I think, whoever won the F1 that weekend was like, it was the top 3 spread was within a second or something like that. So it's like, it's tighter than F1, but we're racing for longer. The track's changing, like it's crazy. So
yeah, it's one of the gnarliest sports. Like, and the level that it's at now is psychotic.
Yeah, it's getting up there, and you can really tell this year, or 2025 was kind of the year that it like really stepped up to another level. Yeah, everyone would tell you the same. I'd say 24 as well, like it stepped up a little bit, but 25 even more so.
What happened?
So what they did was they got rid of the protection status on the races. So like if you were sitting in a good point system in the overall, like top 10, I think it was, or whatever, you'd automatically qualify through the final.
Yep.
They took that away as of 2025. And so, like, if I didn't qualify at the race, like, I wouldn't make it. Like, I wouldn't be in the finals, right? So, like, it's not like anyone can, like, have a free pass to the finish. Like, it's just, you got to make it through every step. And so that changed things because, like, instead of having a free pass and only doing your quali run at, 80% to save it for the final, everyone is pushing as hard as they can every single lap to make it in. So the privateers are pushing faster. The mid-pack riders are pushing faster. And the top guys have to push faster because they're not guaranteed into the final, right? So it's like if they don't make it, it's a big thing. So over this 2025 year, it definitely got a lot harder. Just because of getting rid of that protection status means everyone just tries so much harder.
And
for the three,
just
Q1,
every session.
Q1, Q2, and then into the final, right?
And so do you think that elevated just the speed in general?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know. I think the top of the level, definitely it got elevated for sure. And then just you see it in the mid pack. So qualifying, Q1, 20 riders go through. And let's say last year that would happen, it would be a 5 to 6 second spread between those 20 riders where they all fall in. Where this year it's 2 to 3 seconds.
Damn.
So it's not just that the faster riders are going faster. It's the whole field has just shrunk and just everyone's going faster.
Which just means that the margin for error
is only
now
less. And
0.
Yeah. One mistake in a quali run and you miss it by, a few tenths of a second, and then you get a flat tire in your next one because you missed a rock by that much or whatever, and that's your weekend done. It's crazy. So I made it through every Q1 except twice. I missed it in Poland the first round. I missed the Q1, so I went to the Q2, which is only 10 riders go through. And that's even more of a battle because it's usually some top guys don't make it through Q1, and so then there's less spots, just as many good riders pushing for it, and they've had another run at pace to get used to the track. So Q2 is I'd say even harder than Q1. And then the other time I had it was Ligier, where I went to Q2. That was because of a crash up top, and had to go to Q2 and put it on a good run. But it's stressful. Every other race, I was made it in Q1 and made it through fine. But yeah, if you don't make it to the final, that's just that's your race over. That's your overall chance done kind of thing.
What was it like battling Loic for a full year?
I love that question. That's the question of the year right there.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty different of my sense of battle, right? Your guys' battle is they're actually beefing with each other, right? There's words exchanged, right? It's something happening, something physical where, me and Loic are fully mutuals. We're fully homies. It's
He's
we
such
chat.
a good guy.
Yeah, and he's great.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
The nicest French person
He's
of
amazing.
all time.
Yeah, he's great.
With this time last year, my wife and I, and then him and his girlfriend, we all went for dinner, and my wife was like, "I thought French people sucked." She was like, "He's so
no, he's
lovely."
cool. Yeah, he's sick. Yeah. So I mean, it was good. We were, mutual about the whole thing, and it's we were talking about, this is cool. We're pushing each other. We're pushing the sport. This is only gonna help us both in the long run. It's good for the sport, right? So yeah, we were both good about it. There was definitely he probably had some cheeky little things in interviews and stuff, but I tried to stay out of it and just really focus on my own thing. Cause I was at that point I learned about, that was kind of when I was going on that good run. And that was when things were getting busy, and I was really starting to figure out kind of what is working for me and what kind of I like doing at the races and stuff. And that was just me focusing on what I need to do and literally blocking everything else out. So, yeah, there was definitely some times where he's trying to get something in an interview, a reaction or something. And I'm just shutting it down,
Yeah. Cause he's gnarly.
Cause he definitely still like we'll look for it or we'll look for a
yeah.
little, but like it's still in a mutual
Yeah.
kind of funnier sense. So
Well, but when you think about it, it's what you said. Like he can't get an elbow in there. He can't run it in. Like there's no. You guys aren't on track. Everything's mental.
Yeah.
He's looking for every mental edge that he can find, and I mean he's a guy that's done it so many times.
yeah, exactly.
So he knows the play. He knows how to beat.
Yeah, his
people.
his program and his way of operations is so refined. He knows exactly what he needs to do for
Yeah.
every weekend, right? So
And he probably has a way to beat each person.
yeah,
You know,
Definitely.
everyone that he's beat everyone that he's come up against at some point. You know, it's not like
he
won
had a
every
strategy in Andorra where he beat me out that fifth round where I was going into it almost like I was second, he was last rider down, or I was in the hot seat, he was last rider down, only guy that could have pipped me. So it was like it was the record or not, and
Dude, I wish I watched that one.
that was a good one. I wasn't happy with my run, so I knew he was gonna beat me out of the as soon as I finished my run, I was like, shit, that's it, done right there.
And
Before he came
what are we
down.
talking? Like what
I
in a
was-
run leads you? Or can we watch that? Should we try to find that?
Yeah, we could watch that. Andorra 25. So
Because you probably
Yeah.
made like
I can show you exactly what happened, and I wasn't fully into it at the top of my run. You could do the
that second one,
GoPro.
the third one.
The third one, yeah, the POV might work good.
Yeah.
So like out of the gate, I'm like, okay, this is it. Like this is the historic run right now. Like I need to
Fifth
everything to
win.
go right. So I nearly slide and tuck the front at the first corner. So I was like, shit, I'm off the back.
You're like, okay.
Okay.
bad.
So I hit that rut and I hit that hole right there in that corner. And it was just like I was offline ever so slightly. Like going through all those holes and like top of the berm there, it may not even look like much, but I lost 1.2 seconds to about this next kind of tree, like this next jump coming up. I lost like 1.2 seconds to that yellow pad right there.
Yep.
And then I lost the race by 1.2 seconds. So I lost all my time.
Everything was there.
right there. And then right here is where I felt like I started my run and like got into it and started riding well. Like
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
tell
even
like
see,
I
like,
look
yep.
like I'm not,
So
chilling as much.
That first berm, the left-hander.
So like the
that was
first
like the first one that you stayed
the
out
first
of the
three
ruts.
berms
Yeah.
is where I lost the race pretty much.
That's
and then like all this
crazy.
stuff I did everything I could and I rode at the max speed and it was just as fast as him.
And you knew.
Yeah. I just knew I didn't have a good top section and that it wasn't going to be enough because that's where he was focusing on being like that's where he knew he could like attack because
Yeah.
he's stronger and can carry more speed. But like all through this stuff I was like, oh, I'm like going good here,
Oh,
but like
dude.
I just wish I had another go at that top section. I changed this line like the last run before practice where I did this double right here.
Bro.
And then that like carried me like with really good exit speed into this section. And then this scrub wall right here was always really gnarly. I got like bucked off that. But honestly, from where I said like that jump up top, that drop down, like the run from there down was perfect. Like all this stuff, I was like, this is great. Like I'm carrying good speed there. Everything was good, but it was just that top section and the splits show it too.
Yeah. Because I mean, you guys get the data. You know. It's not like there's any secrets out there.
Nah.
Once the run's done.
This section's carnage right here. Like you just no brakes
Right.
and you gap there. I'm just like holding on to it. And then I think I come down and you see me shake my head, I think. And that's when I know I'm like, that was not enough. Oh, it doesn't show it, but yeah.
Isn't that wild that it's just really
It's just
those
that top
three,
30 seconds, you know?
3 turns, and you knew too.
And I knew it.
And that's the level that I just, if you're not a downhill diehard guy, you just won't understand how small your margin for error is.
Yeah.
Because look at how many places the run could have gone wrong after
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
It's chaos the whole way down. And all of that was like millimeter perfect.
Yeah.
Except for 3 simple relatively flat berms at
Yeah.
the top.
Well, there were two flat. That was my problem. He was running the inside of them, and I went through the holes. And so I was just like chopping through the holes, losing speed. And he had a really nice inside line through them all. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I like, I probably could have, looked at it and like analyzed that inside and saw that line earlier. But like he had the advantage there on me for sure.
Yeah.
So,
And it's his home.
You got to give it out to him for sure.
Home track, essentially.
Home track.
Spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and he was so hungry to win because I beat him the 2 weekends before, or the 3 weekends before that, like by like pretty close margins, like 0.05 by 0.6 or 0.9 or something like that, and then like maybe like 2 seconds or something. So he was like almost there, but I just got him, and so he was like, "I'm not talking to you until I beat you." That's after I won in La Tuile, the fourth one.
Wow.
And so he started talking to me again in Andorra, but
yeah, we come up to you after the race. Hey,
after the race, we're good now. Yeah.
Wild, man. That's a crazy little four race streak.
Yeah.
So I actually got scammed recently on a credit card, which was a nightmare to deal with. A dude in the UK bought $3,000 of Lego, believe it or not, and some Nando's. So I had to cancel the card, I had to wait for a new one, I had to dispute the charges, the whole deal. And this was the second time it happened to me. And it really just made me realize how important proper security is when it comes to anything to do with your money. And this is why I started using Cash App, which was awesome when they reached out and decided to help us out on the podcast. Your security deserves to be a priority, and Cash App treats it that way. With Security Lock, Cash App requires a successful Face ID or biometric authentication to access your account. It's like your money is protected by your own personal bodyguard, even if your phone is lost or stolen. Plus, if you're about to send money to someone new and Cash App notices something looks a bit off or that you might be falling for a scam, it will send you a warning before the money is sent to confirm that everything looks right. Turn on Security Lock in your Cash App settings today and pay attention to scam warnings to keep your money safe. Learn more at cash.app/security. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code SECURE10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank. Member FDIC. Discounts and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
What was the best race run of those four? Or were they all you just crushed?
They were all pretty good. The first one I was like Ludenville, was very unexpected to win. Like the top section was super flat, and I basically was like, I need to give it absolutely everything, like in this top section to like even just keep up, and then like I'm probably gonna be like blown by the next bit. So I like kind of tried to like push as hard as I could, but still managing myself at the top on that bit while it's super flat in Ludenville. This was that race. And then I was able to like push really hard on the steep stuff at the end. There was these like bobsled berms. And I pulled back like 2 seconds in those bottom turns. So like that was the first kind of like comeback win and like I was like, okay, now we're like feeling good again on the bike, like figured out my process and program. And then the next one was another hard one after that. I kind of was not fully in the mindset of like I'm here to like I know I can win this weekend. Like I came in and I was like, yeah, we'll see. Like I'm riding good, but like I know this track doesn't suit me super well. And then I just managed to pull an amazing run out, final run, and that's when I beat Loic by the super tight margin. And then that was going into the next one was Val de Sol, the third one. And that one had like a different vibe to it completely. That one I was like, everything was like calm. I was like way more like in a different mindset. And I almost like, it sounds really weird to say, but like I almost like knew I was going to win.
That doesn't sound weird at all. Like that's a thing.
It's something I've had 3 times, and I'll explain the 3 times in a second here. So I go into that weekend and I like have this feeling, and I'm not like, it's not like I'm like telling myself this, but like I just like almost feel like I've already like accomplished it, and it's like it's already done. Like I know I'm in position, and I just have to go out there and like muscle memory and just like do it, like it's already there in my brain. So that was a bit of a weird one. I had that feeling going into it of like, okay, this is mine. Like I'm ready to go here. Like I can go and win. And I went 1-1-1 and won by 2.4 or 2.2 or something like that.
Which is a year.
Yeah. Which is like, so this has happened to me 3 times where I've like known I was going to win before. And it was that race. It was, Mont Saint Anne 2023, so my first year elite, when I won at the last race.
Yeah.
At that one, I knew I was going to win that one, and I knew I was going to win Championnat Worlds this year.
That's a good one to win. That's a good.
But
that's a good
the
time to
3
know.
times I've had that feeling, it's worked out all 3 times in like the biggest kind of like moments. So I need to like really figure out like what makes you get that feeling or like what it is, because I mean it's so far it's working out and I've got a pretty good success rate. So
Yeah.
I mean I don't want it to sound like kind of bad or like cocky in any way, but like it's just like it's this kind of like sense that I've got.
Trust me,
And
I've spoken to enough athletes.
Have
and
other
racers.
people said the same?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
I'm learning about this about
Yeah.
myself
I'm trying
currently.
To think
So
I'm trying to think who would be the best example of this that I've spoken to. I'll put a bit more thought into who exactly, but I know like Sam Hill has said that he's had times where like he just knew that he was
like Championnat Worlds, like I woke up that morning and I was like, I already was like, this just feels like it's over already. And like all I had to do was go up there, drop in, and just like it, and just shut my brain off.
Yeah.
Because when you shut your brain off and you like get in that flow state and you're not thinking of anything, and it's just like muscles reacting, and that's when I feel like I ride my best. And so that I've found that moment 3 times, on those key places. So it's pretty crazy.
When it's happening, so it's like
it's so hard to explain because I don't remember it.
There's like it's like if you do mushrooms or you do like there's something like psychedelic.
Yeah,
and then
it's a
you're in
psychedelic
the
feeling for sure.
psychedelic, but you're like, fuck, don't think about. You don't
want to like break it. Yeah.
You're like you get this thing. It's like comes from behind you, and you're like, oh, you're fucking like this is the best. Like this is the This is the feeling.
Yeah.
But then you're like, shit, stop thinking about the feeling because the
Yeah.
feeling will go away.
100%.
So when you're in that moment, it's kind of that
Yeah.
in a sense to where it's like it creeps up on you.
It like
And then you're like, oh, fuck.
It kind of like it all builds like going in through the week and then like going up for your race round, it all builds, and then like doing your warm up, it's building, and then like if I feel like as soon as like the beeps go and you're like dropped in, it all just kind of goes like, and then you're just like focused on what's in between the poles in front of you, and that's it. So, there's definitely been times where I'm like completely don't remember anything in that run, and it basically just feels like I'm along for the ride, and my body's just reacting to what's happening.
That's beautiful.
It's the best feeling ever.
Like that's literally, and I think at any level. So you're doing that at the highest level. It's at Worlds. It doesn't get,
like the top of the top.
That's it. But that's what we're all chasing.
Yeah.
When I go ride,
Yeah.
like even when I just go ride San Clemente trails, I'm leaving my office. I've got my bike charged.
Yeah.
My tires are done, and I'm chasing that feeling.
Yeah.
I just want that the brain shut off, and for a minute, 2 minutes, however long the little run is that you're on, that's what you're chasing. And it's like to get that at the highest level of competition.
It feels
with the
really
most,
good.
That has to be so wild.
Yeah, Champrix was a completely different, like beast. I mean, the whole like the track it's insane to like look up at, because like most like hills you go to, like you see the gondola and the stuff, but like you can see the very top of the track because it's like you look up to it and it's like right in front of you. Like the distance to it isn't that far, but it's just straight up.
Yeah.
And you just come straight down, and then you see the lift go up, right? And you see the track all the way down underneath the lift. So it's like, one of the steepest ones. I think it's about 600 meters of vert, but it doesn't go out very much. Like the grade is steep the whole way, and it's banked berms, so it's like a bobsled track, which is just got my name all
It's your
over
vibe.
it. You know, like that's
Yeah.
exactly, that's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like, I mean, the hype around me, like going into that one, like everyone knew like I was going to ride the berms well. And like, it was kind of like my track. So I like had that like sense going into it of like, this is going to be the one. So I did have a lot of cards going to my favor. And, you know, like I had the best run of my life. I was, you know, did everything right going into it. Loic had a bit of a mishap with, I think his suspension broke or something, maybe. I don't exactly know, but he had a bit of a mishap. So he was out. But like the race, like the racing was still insane. Like I won by 1.9 seconds maybe or something like that over Henry Kiefer. Henry Kiefer is 19 years old. He's a year younger. Ronan was third and he's 22. He's a year older than me. So like the podium was 2003 under for World Championship.
That's so fucked.
Yeah, it's sick. So that was like a pretty crazy one because like that track as well, like it's got so much history with Danny in 2011.
Was that 11?
I think it was 2011. Danny Hart's.
Was it 11 or it was?
11 or 14 maybe. I'm pretty sure it was 11.
I had 14 in my head.
Yeah,
for some
something
reason,
like
but
that. Okay, whatever.
look it
Anyway,
up.
so same track. It looks quite a bit different, but
different day, same track.
Yeah, different day, same track. There's
Yeah,
Danny's
11.
one. Yeah.
Let's watch that after. I want to watch yours actually too. Can you find Jackson's from this year?
we
Not a
should watch-
GoPro. I want to see that body.
Yeah. I think there might be like a highlight reel or something. Yeah, I can take you through the run a little bit.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Is this just a highlight?
Yeah, so this is okay, sorry, he's 20. So I've known this kid for years, but he put an insane run down.
Yeah, this track's wild, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, so
You
he
can
rides
just-
the canyon, eh?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, you can see. So there's a video of Danny going through those corners and just hitting them so good.
Pinned.
Just so good, like foot off, like ripping them. But it's cool to see like how much history in that track is still there.
Yeah.
It is quite a bit different, but yeah, so he put a 256 down. Insane run. Ronan was 0.03 or something. He was super tight behind him.
Wow.
Anyways,
I love Ronan's style.
oh, I love Ronan. He's so good. One of my best friends on the circuit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, his style's so sick.
Like if I hang with him and spend time with him and train with him, like it's this like we hang a lot. So
That
yeah, like
had
a
to
point
feel-
0.05.
Wow. Dude, that kit's pretty cool too.
Yeah, everyone gets nice kits.
Here he
So
goes.
yeah, here we go.
The little fella.
And so at this point, I'm like, okay, we're in. I'm like, my brain is shut off already.
0.8 up.
Yeah. So
Fuck,
that
the kit is lit.
the kit's nice. So this section's this just like steep steps. Like it's so steep. Gapping up. Oh, they didn't show it there. But that next section's super
Yeah,
gnarly.
where's the full run? Like, this
Yeah.
is disgusting.
This bit right here was the gnarliest moment of my life. Right there. I like
What?
was swapping
Go back.
both
Go
directions.
back.
So this section is so steep and there's a high line right there.
So was everyone doing this?
No, there's like a few people doing this.
Oh yeah, playback speed.
So
Let's go.
yeah, you might want to go like really slow. So right where I'm hopping there, there's
No.
you can't ride across that. So I like hop the top ledge to ledge, but you
No.
can't. There's two poles on either side, so you gotta like you gotta get next to them and gap
skinny
pretty far.
thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. And then I swapped left, swapped right, and then got kicked off that
there.
left. And so I'm like hanging onto it left, and then
Bro.
I had to get back. And yeah, I was that section right there was the full like that was all of my talent right there to save that section right there. Like I don't know. I came in right there and I was a bit inside to the corner, but I was like, I don't even care. I just survived. And then this right here, that corner, and then this left right. I have never ridden a bike better right in that section.
Go back.
Right in that section, doesn't even look like
No,
that
I
much.
could see that. That first
But
left,
this
dude,
left right here,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh.
And it's like a rock slab, and it's disgusting. But that's basically where, from that section there, is where I won the race because I was back. I was 0.3 back at the split.
Dude.
This gets me so stoked thinking about this. This was the best fucking day of my life, dude. It was so good.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, 1.9 it was.
That gives me goosebumps, dude.
Same. It buzzed my ass in the tires so bad.
Wow.
All over the white kit. But yeah, I think so. I'm not sure what happened with Loic's run here, but he
Had some suspension.
so look at his front fork there. He just like
Oh,
it
there.
doesn't.
Yeah.
His fork just from the
Yeah.
video looks like it completely bottoms out. and-
Yeah.
Which would be horrible to ride, like to just have your fork like completely change like that.
On that track.
That's why I don't mess with any electronics. I just keep it.
Oh, is he running electronic shit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't
Right.
have anything in mind.
Yeah.
Well, I have like nice prototype special stuff in it, and like I think what I've got is like the 2027 or 2028 setup. So it's pretty. I wouldn't say it's as far advanced as Moto, but like for what mountain biking is, like I've got the best suspension and that I can get. But yeah, he's running electronic stuff that has like 3 different modes. So he'll probably have like a soft setup, a like firm setup, and like maybe like a faster rebound setup or something like that. So he can change to it during the run for like a
Those
flat section.
sections,
He
he
can
can-
go to the
yeah.
hard bit, but it's like, yeah, it's a bit of a split kind of decision. It's just like a personal like opinion on if
Well,
you
Loic's
think it's better or
always
not.
been
So
like, as far as
Yeah.
he can take the tech and the bikes,
For
he's
sure.
always been that guy.
and that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think it's great that he's pushing the sport there, and the guys over with his team are doing a lot on that side of stuff, and they're trying to make it like F1 where you're doing so much stuff to it. Where I'm like, I don't really care if the bike's a click off, but I can adjust my riding style to manage that slight hiccup in the suspension, let's say, and I can just adjust my body or do something else or whatever to fix that, and it'd be not the end of the world. Or like I just don't even really mind if the bike's not perfectly set up. Like it just doesn't really bother me as much. So like I was at a few of the races, we were running like electronic telemetry to like data acquisition, they actually call it. People get mad at when you call it
Not allowed to
telemetry.
call it
Yeah, data acquisition. But we were running it at a few races, and then like kind of just like not really finding much, like not really actually using it to make changes with the suspension. And I'm like, well, I like the setup, and this feels great. Like we didn't change the rear shock for 4 races, same setup through all the different tracks, all the different conditions, everything. So it was good to see like the work put in at the start of the year with testing and stuff. Like, man, just because I basically rode the same suspension the whole year kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I got a new fork in the mid-season break, but yeah, I'm not on any electronic stuff. It's just like, the best as I can get from Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just removing a layer of
Yeah,
complication.
exactly. Like I don't need to think about that. Like I'm doing great without it. So like, let's not, try and fix something that's not a problem in my sense. So
Do you think that your style, the way that you ride, leads into that though? Like Loic is a smasher, bulldog. Like he's the Tomac of downhill
for sure.
mountain biking, and
sure.
you're the jet in a sense. To where, I mean, I remember the first, like watching a lot of your junior, like your last year of junior, when you could still watch it, and it was like just boing, boing, boing.
Yeah, I definitely
boing.
get known for doing like a lot of pops and like hops and trying to find backsides, because like that's the biggest thing for me is carrying speed.
Well, you're generating speed by
exactly.
doing that.
So
missing bumps
and
generating speed.
and catching backsides. Like we don't have a motor to crack throttle on, so gravity's our only real help, or your leg power. So I just try and maximize the gravity side of things as much as possible.
Yeah, and as a side benefit of that, fuck suspension.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not really going through any of the bumps anyway.
Yeah,
so
I'm just all going over them.
Just
Yeah.
fucking just jump that one. Use
Just
that
as
one.
long as my rebound's fast enough to, bounce me up, I'm good.
Have you thought much about how your style has kind of changed the sport in a way?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. I think I would say my style has changed the sport. Like, definitely people are looking at it. Like, that's not a lie. Like, people are analyzing, like, every lap that I go at a race, every single team is filming me to see, what line I'm on or what I'm doing different or what's on my bike or whatever. So that's, like, obviously a privilege to get in that situation, which is so cool. But yeah, I think, like, where was I trying to go with this?
Just with how it's changed in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it changed, like, my sport, like what I do, but it's not going to change Loic's sport.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it comes down to, such a personal thing. Like, for the riders that can learn stuff from me and, like, do that, the, pops and stuff and try and take notes and stuff, like, that's going to help for sure. Like, I'm kind of, I wouldn't say pioneering that, but, like, I'm doing more of it than anyone else. But, like, that doesn't work for everyone. So I'm not going to say it's like the right answer.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can see Jet, he looks beautiful riding, gapping all of the ruts and just the way he's standing in corners and all that stuff. But, like, it still could be faster to just hold it wide and hit the holes, So it just depends on the rider and like, if that's kind of the way they want to ride, I think.
I think it's just inspiring a new generation.
I would say it is that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It still is that, but it isn't for everyone.
I remember 2023, I went to Loretta's for the first time to watch. And I was like, oh, fuck, Jet's changing the whole sport.
Yeah.
Just every single kid was trying to do the Jet thing.
Yeah. I can imagine.
And I think that you're having a similar effect because it's new and it's like, it's so rare, especially in downhill, that someone comes along and changes things in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sam was
one of them for sure.
crazy like that.
Yeah.
Gwyn. But I think Gwyn kind of, like, people just couldn't really fuck with that.
Yeah.
It's like he's one of one in that sense,
Yeah,
but it's
sure.
a very few people that come along and change the way that people operate in that sport.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And to, have my name kind of be somewhere on that list and say that I have had a say in changing the sport is insane. Like, that's such a big accomplishment for me. Like, at 21 to say that is pretty crazy. So, yeah, it's definitely something I use as motivation going into riding and stuff.
Is it conscious or is it just a result of being a small dude that is having to generate as much speed as possible? Because, like, man, you watch, especially those bowl turns, it's like the amount of compression and spring and it's the most beautiful mix of timing, power, finesse, traction. Like, there's the way that you hitting these turns, like that left, for example.
Yeah.
Like, that's the perfect example. I wish you could see your whole body there because that would have been like tuck.
Yeah, like
full pump, full lean.
It's I feel like I'm at the limit of, like, I'm starting to get to the limit of, like, almost components now. Like, where I can hit a corner so fast that it's like, okay, now my tire's folding over and I, like, literally can't, like, it doesn't hold up anymore or something like that. Like, there were sections in that Ludenville race run where, like, I came into this one corner and it's a straight section into a right that was just super bowled out and banked, and I came into my race run and I was like, let's push this as hard as I physically can.
Yeah.
I came in and I've got this weird thing that I don't even know I do sometimes, but let's say there's, like, holes in the middle of a berm. I'll ride above the holes, and, like, sometimes there's, like, a shelved out, like, the whole top is, like, still fresh and the bottom's, like, broken away,
Yep. Yep.
And I've ridden many times like on that shelf above where it's like still a smooth berm. So there's a few times in that where I'm like doing that. So in that Ludenville corner, like I was railing above that, but also at like a complete sideways angle, trying to hold my eyelids open from the G-forces.
No way,
And,
dude.
yeah. And then it's into a left and you're trying to do the same on the other thing. So there, I would love to.
What's the best example
find-
of some footage, you reckon?
I'd say Ludenville. Yeah, it might be hard to spell. It's called Loudonvier, but Louden. Louden. Ville. Yeah, EH2025. I would just go, yeah, that one, and then skip. I'll be the last, I think.
Skip the squids.
Sorry.
Uh,
Actually, no, I wouldn't be last. I was mid-pack here. Sorry. I qualified 12th.
no shit.
Yeah.
This was one of the weird qualities.
Yeah. I was off. This was like first. This is
what's
second
going on
race.
here, Griff? All right, where we at?
Sure. So I almost crashed in the start gate here. That's a funny one as well. You can see me. I don't even know what happened. My trainer sent me a message after this race, and he's like, "We need to work on this. Like, what's going on here?"
That's so
Yeah, this was second race of the year, 2025. This is my first win of the 4 in a row. So this whole top section you can see super windy, super flat, and I was like, I need to do everything I can. So that inside corner right there, that was the first time I'd done that in my race round. I like saw a junior do it, and I was like, oh, I need to like try and see if that's faster and just risk it. But yeah, like we're going fast, 65 k's an hour through this stuff, but I'm basically just going backwards here compared to everyone else.
yeah.
And then kind of here is where it gets good, and this is where it gets kind of into more my track, and it basically just drops off like this massive hill and gets really steep. There's a mistake here. I thought my GoPro wasn't recording, so I tried to turn it on.
I saw this run actually.
Yeah, I tried to turn it on, but I accidentally turned it off.
Yeah.
Nearly died there. And then from here down, it was like, this is where I went like all out.
Oh, and then this is where you're running data acquisition.
No, I don't have it on actually.
Oh, what's
Not
on
for
the
this
side
one.
of your fork there?
That's a mass damper. It's long story. I don't even know if I could explain them to the right level, but it basically just dampens all the effects that you get from the trail.
Yeah, right.
Less arm pump, less vibrations, less all that.
Yep.
Weighs about half a kilo on the front of the bike too. So we're coming up to the corners here in a second. So like that section right there is where it gets steep, and I pulled a lot of time, but this left here, like I rail above the
Oh, yeah.
hole there, and then this right, so it's straight, and I'm like coming into it, you see it forever.
Oh,
Like, yeah, those corners
Go
are
back,
where
yeah.
I won the race basically. Because I like held it in touch, like I'm within 0.6 of a second, and then as soon as like I get to the section where I'm like good to go, I was able to pin it. But yeah, you can see I think I know my front wheel is above the berm, but I don't know about the rear.
oh, that is
How sick's that, hey?
precision.
Let me see. Okay, I need to find. There's another one that I did in Val de Sol this year that was about this big,
Really?
and I'm basically cornering on like a skinny.
And so this turn here, that right, bro, you're
Yeah.
launching out of that thing.
Yeah, just getting spat out.
So, how much brake is going on before that, or is that just
So that's the thing is like less and less brake goes into it every lap, right?
yeah?
So like you come in and like sometimes in your race run you just come into things so much hotter, and then like you either have to brake more or just commit harder and hit the section faster, you know. So like in here in this section, I came in, hit that left at the start really good, and so I came in hotter, and I was like, I still need to like keep this up. Like this is good. Like I'm on a good one. So I came in hotter and committed harder, and it just like turned out even gnarlier. But I remember that corner, I was like, whoa, that was crazy.
we're on one?
Yeah,
we're on one, boys.
We're on a ripper here, but yeah, this is good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I'm so close to finding this video.
So Canadian too. We're on a ripper here, boys.
We're on a ripper, eh, bud?
Oh, I fucking love it. So you're trying to find one from Baldassare.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to find it, but I might
You're good, bro. Take your time.
not be able to find it. We'll see here.
Where's it? Is it on Instagram?
No,
Or
it
just in
was
your-
like just in my camera roll. Yeah. I'm not seeing it.
So
Looks like it's gone. But anyways, yeah, like there's been a few times where I've been able to ride corners that are like, a few inches
So what are you
tall.
doing about this component issue?
No, it's I wouldn't actually call it an issue.
No, but
like,
it's the limit.
it's like like we're just
Yeah, you guys are on the limit.
guys are on the limit for sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm hitting that corner there and my tires are folding and they're like I'm on the edge of traction. Like I'm pushing it as far as I can go without it sliding. So I think like as the only way you can get farther is either pushing technology or I mean if there's somehow a new way to set up the bike and hit a corner in a different way, I don't know, but like that's what's also so cool is like I'll hit a corner completely different to Loic or anyone else, but like just the way I have it set up and stuff, like some people don't even understand how I corner because I like just do weird things but it just works for me, right? So I think I don't know. It's something that I have been working on like my whole life, like from dirt jump days, right? Like that's where that skill comes from BMX days of like hitting a set of jumps and having those nice berms and stuff, or riding dual slalom.
Yeah.
So like all those other aspects of riding all come into one, and like it just shows there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Can we find I want to watch the clip of you as a kid. What's that clip called?
Like the super young on the run bike.
Yeah.
Run bike to kindergarten. It's amazing. Yeah, it's so good.
When was the last time you watched this?
Oh, it gets pulled up all the time, but yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff here from back in the day.
470,000 views.
So, I mean, that's the crazy thing. That's on this account. Some dude reposted it on like Facebook or something, and it got like 85 million views on this other dude's Facebook account. So, like, we didn't get anything from it.
Oh.
But, like, yeah.
So whose account is this? Kakua
This
Bikes
is
USA.
Kakua Bike. So that's the bike brand. They reposted it. But we made this for my grandma and grandpa. Like, it was not meant to be for the world.
Really?
You know, like this was supposed to show my grandma and grandpa what we're going on. But my dad made a whole little story, and
This is so cool.
This
dude.
is like all my hometown in Squamish.
This is iconic, bro.
This is iconic. Like we've come a long way.
We up now, boys.
Yeah, we up.
I was gonna say you kind of up right now, though, dude. Like, look at this.
Yeah, I was like 6, but yeah. Anyways, I think it's still the most viewed video on Pink Bike. Pink Bike's like the Vital MX kind of thing. But yeah, there's like Squamish Skate Park, and that's me as a 6-year-old, I think. Yeah, 5 or 6.
What a legend, bro.
My backpack was empty the whole time, and I was complaining the entire time that I had to wear the backpack because I was like, "Why? I'm just riding the skate park. Why do I need the backpack?" But
Your dad's like,
my dad's
trust
like,
me,
"It's
bro.
for the story. It's for the school." But like, you can see, like, I mean, it's filmed on a like
Full dad
cam,
Yeah.
like just pan and zoom. I almost hit him in this clip. Look at me, like trying to skid and all.
This is just so cool.
Yeah, it's hilarious to watch.
So your parents are obviously absolute legends.
Yeah, big time.
Do they travel a bunch with you?
They've traveled a lot with me, so I'm really lucky with my parents. You know, they like from the get-go they were super like helpful with me, like getting to all these places like Rampage or all these big events. Like,
So they were just all in.
They were all in from the get-go. I feel so bad for my sister, but they were all in, and you know, taking me all these places, going to like Woodward West, coming down to the States in the winter and stuff. I did my first Europe trip, you know, when I was like 11 years old, to just go and ride and go to all these places just to like keep it going and always kind of be there.
Be in the mix.
Yeah, be in the mix. Even if I'm like literally 9 years old and just riding the small jumps, as long as we're there and I see it and I learn something, it's like that was good for my dad. And I'm so grateful for the places he took me. Like it was insane, the trips. You know, he would take me down to California. I think I probably went about 20 or so times, like just random trips, we'd just like book like an Allegiant Air or like super cheap flight, and we'd come down, spend a week, and he'd basically just like sit there in the skate park watching me just for hours. So yeah, I got to give it up to them, and they do a lot of
legend.
traveling now as well on the other end. Like now it's like vacation travel for them, and they don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm obviously with the team and that everything's covered. So yeah, me and my dad and my mom went for like a big e-bike trip in Europe last year, but they do upwards of 3 months in Europe every year. They have a car, they drive around, they camp out of their car, they come to all the races, they just live the life. My dad retires for the summer basically. He like just does contracting work, so he just like doesn't sign anything for the summer.
Yeah.
And then my mom can just work from like a computer and like has her like weekly meetings on like one day. So she just needs like an internet connection. And so they just travel Europe, and they're at every single race this year except for Lake Placid, which was the one in New York. It was just a nightmare of travel to get there. But they were at every single race in Europe, which was so cool. And they have been doing that for the last few years, which is sick.
It's cool because a lot of guys in your position would probably want to step away from the parents thing at a certain point. And so many parents become a net negative at a race at a certain point in their kids' career.
For sure. Where it's a complete opposite. Like it's a big part of my thing is having them there and having family and yeah, it's good. Like, I mean, they've supported me like for a long time. Like it up until my first year as a junior. Like my mom I was on this team as a first year junior, but like I wasn't like getting support. So everything was me and my mom traveling around, booking all of our hotels, all of our accommodation, all dealing with all of our own food. I just had like a bit of mechanic help and like a space that I could use.
Yeah.
So that was my first year junior, and that was basically me and my mom on our program. So like everything before then has like been with my parents, and up until when I got on the Syndicate, like that's when that like switched over from it being like my parents' support and help with everything to like being the Syndicate. So it's like they've been a part of the whole process.
Was Syndicate the goal for you going pro?
I think it was it was the childhood goal for sure. Like, I mean, as soon as I wanted to like race and saw that as like an opportunity, I was like, I mean, obviously the Syndicate's the dream. Like that's where it was like Rat Boy and like Petey at the time. And then, and then like through, like Greg as also, well, forever. And then, like through into the Luca Loris era as well. Like I was obviously like super into Syndicate, but I like didn't know that was like even a thing until I like got traction on the World Cups at my first year junior, started doing well. And then I kind of like got lucky and was put into a position where it was like kind of like a no brainer, where it was like, they were super into it. And it's like, there was no other really option that could have been close to better than that. So I was like, of course. So, and to this day, like I'm obviously so happy with where I'm at, and like it's still been a dream spot for me. So
yeah, because I mean, you're on. I think the cool thing about Syndicate as well is that you're not riding production bikes, but it's so close to production. Like
it's a production frame.
Yeah.
It's a production Santa Cruz frame. So it's the exact carbon layup. It's the exact linkage.
It's exact.
Yeah, it's exact.
That's
the frame.
So sick.
The frame. Like all the linkages and stuff, like that's still the same. Like we don't do anything different there. The only thing that we have are like different millimeter cups for the headset, so we can change the reach by a few mils and tighter increments than what comes stock. But you can still adjust it stock, so it's just we can do like a little more adjustment in that one thing. But the frame is completely stock. All the links are stock. Like the carbon is all the same. I run prototype a lot of everything else. So tires, suspension, wheels, brakes, grips, you know, a lot of the other things are all prototypes. So it's cool to have all that stuff, and that stuff's amazing. And bringing that stuff in at the races is always, you know, fun for me. And but it's still also so sick that you can go and buy that frame from Santa Cruz, and it's that good that like we don't have to make changes to it, you know?
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of advantages that come from that as a professional when you're doing it, because
it's just full confidence in the thing that's beneath you and in my vessel, you know? That's what I need, and if I've got that, that's all you can ask for.
And I mean, you can be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And you can get, like, if something happens.
Yeah.
Like, you
No,
can,
for sure.
you can get your
pretty
bike.
much anything, yeah.
Yeah,
it might be
you
a
can go
different color,
so-
but
Yeah.
if I have any frame damage or anything, like I can swap a frame and it'd be totally fine.
Yeah, because that shit happens all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it might feel a little bit different. I do notice the fine details like that, but they don't usually bother me too much. But yeah, I've been lucky. I have not had to replace a V10 due to any crack damage or like rock hits or chips or anything. Like maybe like a one rock chip or something, and just out of courtesy changed it. But like I've never gone through a V10 at all, so they're pretty bulletproof. I am a smaller guy, but I do ride it hard. So
You do send.
yeah, I mean that just stoked on how good the bike's been, and we're trying to make a new one as well. But I don't know what we can fix.
Really?
I don't know what else is going to be better about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the Ferrari of downhill bikes for me.
Yeah,
Dude,
they're
to
great.
this day still, so I raced downhill when I was probably like 14, 15, 16, before I got fully into moto. My dad was like, bro, we're not fucking doing this downhill thing. He's like, I'm so over it.
Yeah.
And so then that bike went, I had an Intense M1.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
though.
that was
those
like-
are OG. I
That
like
was the
those.
Santa Cruz
Yeah,
back
for
then,
sure.
you know. And but man, to me, there's just I don't know if there's anything as fun as a sick downhill track on a sick downhill bike.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I
That
agree.
to me is about as good as adrenaline action sports
Mm-hmm.
get. But trail bikes are getting so good now as well that gap is getting closer.
It's getting closer for sure.
But all that travel,
Yeah. All that
slack,
cushion. Yeah.
like,
It's
dude,
just so good.
yeah, they rip.
Every time, like, I mean, it's been a while since I've ridden downhill. Like, we've, like, back home and before I came out to this trip, like, we had, like, literally a month of torrential downpour. I touched my downhill bike 3 times.
Did you go look at it?
I did look at it. Yeah. No, I see it every time I pass the garage and take the e-bike that's next to it, you know. But I mean, we had some pretty horrible weather, so it's been like haven't had a lot of time, but like going into coming after this trip, I get like 4 days or 5 days in New Zealand before Hardline, and like that's kind of like pretty much like the only downhill time I'm gonna get before that, because I think when I get home from this trip, it's gonna be snowy, so I'm like gonna be coming into Hardline with a bit of time off the back, like not much downhill time. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm basically looking forward to doing exactly that, getting those 4 days in New Zealand and just like having fun on my downhill bike and just riding as much as I can all day and just getting that like kind of feeling back, because I got a short amount of time to find it before that next race. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure you'll be fine.
it'll be okay. Yeah, I'm still riding, but just.
Right after the highly controversial SMX final in Vegas, Joe Shimoda flew his championship trophy back to his home country of Japan, and we followed him. In the second part of our 100-hour series, we spent 100 hours in Japan to do a deep cultural dive into the racing scene and followed Joe back to his hometown of Suzuka to explore his cultural roots and hang with his awesome family as he enjoyed the small amount of downtime he gets in Japan each year. To watch the full 100-hour piece, hit the link in the description or search 100 Hours with Joe Shimoda on YouTube.
What's you're so young and you've now achieved everything. Are you the kind of guy that's motivated to just keep winning and winning and winning? And look, no one's ever going to do what Greg Menard did.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to take it to that extreme.
Yeah.
But you look at Loic, like he's had a long
Yeah.
career. He's been in the title hunt every single year of his career. Like, do you aspire to that level in the sport, or are you going to be a guy that will peel off after a couple of, let's say you win 3 world champs and 2 more overall titles? Are you going to be the kind of guy that's like, there's actually so much more mountain biking that I could do, and I have more to offer, like Rampage? And,
Yeah.
like, do you think you'll be that guy, or are you going to be the guy that really commits to the racing thing as long as you can to see what you can get out of it?
Right now, I still feel like there's definitely more to accomplish. Like I have now done it. Yeah, like I've won world champs and the overall and a World Cup. Like this is all, like, statistically I've completed a lot of, big things, but yeah, I mean, I'm not looking at it like it's like I'm done now. Like I'm definitely very much hungry, like just as hungry and motivated to do that again. Like I had so much fun this year. I had so much like love for mountain biking, and like it was just the best year on my bike ever. So like I'm just going to be chasing that feeling for the next few years for sure. I'm not going to do 3 years and peel off, for definitely not that, but I'd say I'm in the middle. Like I'm not going till I'm 40, but I'm not going to quit at 26, So I think kind of depends on where we're at and what those years look like in front of me, but I mean, that's still far away right now. So I'm just focusing on next year and what's kind of in front of me right now. But yeah, I think I want to kind of stick around for a little bit, but not an annoying amount.
Yeah. Is the sport at a place as well where, I don't know, I wanted to say like it annoys you to where like the way that the sport is going or changing, or are you happy in the sport in terms that you'd be like, yeah, I can keep doing this the way that it is? Because there's like in moto, there's guys that are like, this is too much.
Yeah.
This is way too gnarly.
Yeah.
This is too many races. I'm fucking not going to keep doing this. And you're probably going to see some guys change what they do. I don't think you guys have it on the length of the schedule.
No.
But with all the changes that the sport's been through over the years, is there some things where it's just like, if it doesn't get better, like this is actually going to piss me off?
Yeah, that's definitely something. Like the whole like politics behind racing, and there has been a lot of changes in the last few years of with Red Bull going out and Warner Brothers coming in and all this, other dramas between, whoever's changing, and just there's a lot of like, it's just a bit of a different kind of situation between the riders and the organization, and like we still. Like the riders haven't really figured out what the best way of getting things to actually kind of go through it is yet. So, I mean, I personally like another, like kind of going back to what I was like saying is like, there's so much noise and so much going on that like, I just want to focus on what I do. So like, there's like rider unions and like group chats and like things that like people try and do like to, let's say, okay, this rock needs to be moved out of the track or something. Like there's like a lot of people that other riders are like have say in what happens, but I'm fully staying out of that. And like, I'm not in the group chat, the Riders Association. Like I'm not in any of that stuff. Like I don't, like if there's a rock that I don't like on the track, like I don't have a say to get that removed or something. Like I'm fully like just kind of out of it in that sense of all of the politics in the sport, which is like, I don't want to have another thing to think about and something else to be negative about, Yeah.
So yeah, you're not the kind of guy that's going to be affected by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot of that in that whole sort of changeover process.
For sure.
So
There
it's in a
definitely
place
was.
where you're like, I can come and race this shit. I'm fine.
I think so. I mean, I definitely like, I don't know if I fully agree with all the things that are changing, and like, like if I had the reins, I would probably make it different. But like at the same point, it's like, that's like, they make the rules, I got to follow them. And like, I'm just here to kind of, listen to them and do the job and not get in trouble and do my best. So yeah, it's kind of straightforward when you look at it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So racing aside, what's your Roman Empire at the moment?
My Roman Empire. That's like your second, like what?
Like, what's your
what,
thing?
What
What's
I'm
the
just,
shit that you're just
yeah.
fully in on right now?
Golf could be one of them.
Okay.
I mean, moto is one of them. Like, I mean, it's all sports things.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just a full. Sport
I
nerd.
would just say, yeah, I'm a sports nerd. I like not everything. Like, I can't keep track of like NBA and
Yeah.
like NFL and all that stuff. But big NHL guy, big moto guy, big
Who's
golf
your
guy.
team in NHL?
Canucks, just because they're close. But we'll not get into that. I love the Canucks, but that's just because they were my dad's favorite team when I was, super young.
Yeah.
So.
And he's listening. So
Yeah. Gotta make him happy. He's definitely listening. This was one of his Christmas presents, was for me to come on this this podcast.
No way.
He loves your podcast, dude.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
I'll tell
He's
you that. I said g'day.
He will hear that. So
G'day, Dad.
yeah. My mom will watch this too. They love all the podcast stuff you do, and they listen to all the stuff I do as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's a big Canucks guy.
Yeah, Canucks. Yeah. I don't think they're, the best team in the world, but like they're just kind of where the loyalty's at right now.
Yeah. It's family. You
Yeah,
don't choose family, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're definitely not the best team.
And so golf. as
Yeah,
well.
golf has been another big one. I mean, that's like, I think probably you've had so many athletes come on and say the same thing. It's like a great escape from
It
what we
is.
get to do. So like
Yeah.
just going out and going for, a big walk in the nature and getting mad at an angry white golf ball instead of everything else.
Yeah,
It's way
instead
easier.
of your
Like,
life.
yeah, it's just this little thing. It's doesn't have any feelings or anything, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of golf. Obviously, weather hasn't been good at
Yeah.
home. So
How's the swing? Like, where you at?
we're getting there.
Okay.
I wouldn't call myself a good golfer. I'd say I'm a between 12 and 15 handicap.
That's good.
Like I can hit the ball.
You can get around.
I can sometimes say like, okay, I want to hit this shot and like actually pull it off, but like it doesn't happen all the time. My best round is a 76 from the whites from like a pretty short course. So I've had a good round. I was just lights out, but I was like driving greens and stuff. But yeah, I still got lots of work to do on the golf side of things. So hopefully this trip will be good for that. Cause
Yeah. Have you played any?
I played twice. I played a few like just driving range and stuff, but we went to the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay
Ooh.
and played that course.
Okay.
On the ocean. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Super sick.
Have you played any like really nice courses yet?
Not yet, but I'm gonna go potentially to Spanish Bay, which is like right next to Pebble Beach.
Ooh, on
and,
the
like,
way back up.
On the way back up.
Ooh.
So I'm starting to, I feel like I'm at that level where I can like start taking
Enjoy
those
a
and
good
like
track.
actually like
Yeah.
hit the ball enough to like
Yeah.
have fun and not just shoot 120,
Dude, we should try and play Tory.
I would love that.
I played there a few
I just drove by
months.
Pelican Hill on the way up.
That's
there. I was
nice.
like, oh,
That's
that place
nice.
looks sick.
Dude, Sheckler could probably get you on that. Do you know Sheckler?
I have met him. I don't think he would remember me or Woodward days so long time ago, but
Oh, no way.
yeah,
Dude, that's cool.
yeah. I don't think he would remember me.
Peak Ryan Sheckler.
Yeah.
You peak Grom.
Yeah, like
And he's at Woodward West.
yeah. Oh,
That's-
I would stay away. I'd be
You were just frothing,
yeah.
bro.
Well, I just obviously love it so much, but like he would take up the whole park, and just be ripping. So, and like I would never ride with him because I was just like you don't do that kind of thing.
yeah. Wow, that's sick. Well, yeah, I've played Pelican with him one time.
That's insane.
Closest I've ever got to a hole in one.
Really?
I
I have one on video.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. At my local track in Canada.
Wow. Yeah, dude. I've been close.
I'll be able to pull it up right here. It's in my favorites.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah,
I know exactly where it is.
He's got this bid.
Yeah, sure do.
Airdrop it to the MacBook.
Can I do that?
You should be able to.
Can they see that on
Yeah.
the Okay. I've only ever done the just through Spotify, listening. I haven't because you post this on
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
and watch it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This goes everywhere, man.
Well, I know, but
You're more
I
of
don't want to
the-
look at my face the whole time. I just listen.
Yeah. There we
Here's
go.
the old one.
Let's go. This
Yeah.
is unreal.
So it's funny. It was filmed
Right,
on.
tell me the backstory.
It was filmed on
Give me the
Snapchat.
lore.
You know what's actually really funny? I came back from a moto trip to Rampage with 3 buddies. We drove down with 3 dirt bikes in my Tacoma, and
Which is a squeeze.
which is super tight squeeze. Are
you a lefty?
I'm a lefty as well. Yeah, we drove 26 hours straight from Grand Junction, Colorado,
Yeah.
and we got back to Squamish at like 10 in the morning, and we were like, what the fuck what do we do? Like, we're like so tired, but like we're not gonna go ride or do anything because we just drove. And so we just like went to the driving range, but then like
I'll have to send it again and just go save to downloads next time.
Okay. And we had to and we just like snuck on a few holes and like didn't pay to play the course. So
So it's not a legit
It's-
hole in one.
it is, it's not in a round, but it's like, it's a full legit
No, I
tee
know,
box
I
and
know.
everything. And it was filmed on Snapchat. So like the timer, there's a timer on it. And as soon as we get to the hole and there's like 1 frame
Of the ball?
of the ball in the hole.
Go back. I want to see this swing. Is there
This
sound?
is old. This is like, what does it say? 2022, eh?
Oh,
I got one within a year.
that is diabolical, bro.
Yeah. So look, it spun it back off the fringe
Get out.
and bop, drops in. It was insane. And look at us, we're just freaking out.
Geeking, bro.
Yeah. So then we run up and like the very last frame of the video, like it's all one video, but the very last frame, you can see the ball in the hole for only 1 frame.
Iconic.
But yeah, so we drove down, didn't pay for the round, and just like I just told him to film that golf shot, and there it is.
Oh.
Yeah. I just told him to film, and then it ends right there.
Bro, that's a movie.
But insane.
That's a movie.
Yeah, so sick.
There was the one time with Sheckler, and I had a period of time. So like you said, you had 2 lights out round.
Yeah.
I had 2 back to back, 76, 78.
No way.
I played the same course like 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And I was
Knew it a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was staying at a friend's in Atlanta, and I didn't have anything really to do, so I was just playing golf literally every day. And I'd like go to the range before, and this was like peak geek.
Yeah.
Like the podcast started as like, I thought it was going to be a golf podcast.
No way.
In like 2017, bro.
Yeah.
Before Fade Golf, I was like all in. Was like interviewing tour pros and like doing all this shit.
That's so funny.
Then long story short, but I had to go back to Australia. Didn't know one person that played golf.
Yeah.
So my dream just died. I was like, fuck, I'll just keep riding.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was in for a while, like really going for it. And it was one of the times where like I kind of just hadn't played forever. And I was playing shit this day at Pelican Hill. And then we were playing, I think we were just playing like a best ball with a group, you know. And I was just stinking it up all day and then stood on this tee box and I just had a 7-iron and I was like, oh, fuck it. Like, we'll just give this thing
Give it a rip at the pin. Yeah.
And dude, it was just like a millimeter off. And then I had one other time when I was living like close to LAX and there was like this little par 3 course.
Yeah.
And I went there one day just fully by myself and I hit one. It was a 9-iron or something, you know, just like fully by myself, just back the green, spun it back and it just stopped like
That close.
bro.
Oh.
And but
I thought this one was going to stop, but then it literally just went, yeah, it was perfect.
I was by myself too. And
Yeah.
so I was like, dude, this sucks.
That would've
I
sucked,
would have
yeah.
not been able to.
Yeah, the fact I was like with my
the
buddies, got it
boys.
on video, insane. And it was like literally, I probably golfed for a year. I've had one close one since then, but like,
Man, some people just get them.
yeah,
Some people, I know people with like 4 or 5
Yeah.
that are just normal
yeah,
players. Like my ex-girlfriend, I used to play with her dad
yeah.
every Wednesday morning
That's
at
sick.
5:30.
Yeah.
We played golf.
Yo,
He had like 6 fucking hole-in-ones, dude.
no way.
Yeah. It was just,
I think one of my most insane shots was like I eagled from like 100, like hold out eagle from like 120 yards out.
that feels so
but
good.
It wasn't like I missed the golf ball and it went in. Like it was insane. I don't even know. So I went driver, laid up a 7-iron. I had like 120 yards left. And I like skull bladed it. So it just came out like 5 feet about like in the air and just like running. But I was like, it's like going towards the green. It's like right at the pin. Like insane. And I spent forever looking for my green, like ball off the back of the green. Because I was like, it just like went past. And I didn't even see it go in. But I found it in the hole.
That is unreal.
So that one was crazy. I didn't even see it happen. But
even a broken clock's right twice a day, bro.
yeah, there you go.
Better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's the best though. I played
Big fan.
in so Roan's one of the other boys that works for the pod. He's like full, just he's in.
Yeah.
And he's got a beautiful
He's
swing.
stuck.
Like he's in.
Yeah.
And we played because now I got a good set of clubs.
Yeah.
I only play now. Like I never practice.
Don't go to the range or anything.
Nah.
Yeah.
Like so Riley Hawke and Adam Cincerello.
Yep.
I just play with them.
Sick.
Whenever
I've been trying to meet with Adam and play, but haven't
Dude,
been able
we'll
to.
get him to over the hill. He lives like just on the other side of the hill.
Yeah.
So we just get him over the hill. We'll go play. But they basically call up, want to play golf. Yep. No practice, no nothing. I just rock up and play now. And I think I enjoy golf more
Probably.
now
Because
than
it's
when
just
I
like
was trying.
you're not trying to like go for the best score. You're just out there for fun. Yeah.
But
definitely.
the other day I played with Roans, was legit like missing the ball when I was swinging. I was playing with like some funky clubs and shit. And now I'm like, that kind of scarred me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
as soon as you have a bad day, then you go into a spiral and you're just
that
like,
wasn't bad.
"Oh."
That was like whatever's worse
Yeah.
than bad. It was like almost don't. I didn't play golf for the whole 5 months, and I was home after that. It was
wow.
that bad.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
now I'm like,
That'll do it.
hey, let's play golf. Also, fuck, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Oh, that's funny.
Dude, this has been great.
Yeah, that was insane. I went so quickly.
You enjoyed it?
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Loved it.
This was cool. You're a guy that like I said, I don't follow it like every race, but I love watching you ride. It's been cool watching the progression and the come up and watching you fulfill the prophecy in a sense, you know. It's and to be just the nicest guy while doing it and to have the stoke. Dude, I almost came and rode with you in Europe last year.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't make it happen.
Really.
Yep. I was so bummed. The guys and girls at Santa Cruz, they were so lovely, and they reached out and they said there was like some pre-season testing.
Probably.
They
yeah.
launched their new e-bike.
Yeah. I know exactly the time of year.
Devoed I didn't get to go.
Yeah.
So maybe
Sick.
we'll have to have a ride at some point.
Dude,
and
100%.
Make up for it. But
Dude, I know some people that can help out with getting you a bike and all that sort of thing. So
we should try and remake that trip happen.
Yeah.
Because I was devastated that I didn't get to do it. But this has been awesome, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, and I really hope you enjoy your California trip.
Yeah. No, that's been great. First podcast in a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for having me on, and thanks to the crew behind the scenes for doing all the hard work of hopefully cutting out my stutters. Maybe. I don't know.
Jackson Goldstone, ladies and gentlemen.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.